Hello and welcome to Still Got Legs, a Doctor Who Rewatch podcast brought to you by Another Happy Studios. Oh fuck, I didn't have my notes up, I forgot. Oh whatever, the Forest of the Dead, Merry Christmas. Hello everyone, welcome. Oh, let me stop that jingling bells. Hello everyone, welcome to Still Got Legs, the only Doctor Who podcast in the world. My name is Nathan Bauer. Before I introduce my companion, you might be wondering if that intro was pre-planned. No, that was just a genuine fuck up on the fly, and I cannot be bothered to go back and change it. Lawrence,
it's funnier
welcome.
with the context that you spent 5 minutes writing an actual one.
I know. And then I didn't have my notes up on my screen and I couldn't get to it in time. And then the music was, it was very stressful. Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Day, Lawrence.
It is Christmas Day. That's why we're more loosey-goosey.
Well,
right?
I mean, maybe. I don't think many people are going to spend their actual Christmas Day listening to this. But, you know, someone might.
We make a Doctor Who podcast. There's weirdos out there that will be listening to this. Maybe people are getting excited to watch the Christmas special later, get their Doctor Who fix in early.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. But anyway, Merry Christmas, and what better way to spend Christmas than to listen to two fuckheads talking about a fucking 16-year-old episode of Doctor Who or whatever.
Oh, mate, I'm excited, right? And I forgive me for jumping right in, right?
Oh, okay.
I want to ask you, does recency bias apply when this episode came out about 20 years ago? Because I have a bold statement to make.
Recency bias has nothing to do with when the media came out. It's
Okay.
when you watched it. So you can watch a movie from 2003
Okay.
for the first time and be like, "Whoa, that was jepic!" Like as soon as you finish it.
And that's how I say it as well. I go, whoa, that was jepic.
Exactly, as often as everyone does. However, Lawrence, I believe recency bias can only really be applied with a first watch of something.
Okay. All right.
Now, as this is a rewatch for you, I'm not necessarily sure it can be applied here. But hey, there's no laws, there's no rules about this sort of stuff, so who gives a fuck,
It's
really?
true. I mean, it's our podcast. We can make claims that we want to make. And I am going to make a claim.
Excuse me. Sorry. It's my podcast.
I'm just graciously allowed to be here, right?
You're allowed to be here. Okay.
Okay, well, thank you. I think...
Well, hold on, Lawrence. What the fuck are we doing? It's Christmas Day and we've forgotten how everything works.
It's true.
This is Series 4, Episode 9 of Doctor Who. It's called The Forest of the Dead. It's actually just called Forest of the Dead. There's no there. It's written by Stephen Moffat and directed by Slin. Anyway, continue.
I think this could possibly be the best episode up until this point
What?
of Doctor
That
Who.
that is a bold claim.
I think it might be.
We've had some bangers, and with a side of mash, they go down a tree, all right? We've had some really good... We've had Blink, which I didn't love, but, we've had Last of the Time Lords.
Yep.
We've had these...
Another one that you famously regard as a
Another one which
banger,
I
right?
didn't actually love. Yeah, I'm struggling to think of ones I did love now.
Your point is becoming less valid by
Do
the
I
minute.
even like this show? What's going on? No, Tooth and Claw was a big one for me. I loved that. But these episodes were big for you, though, as well.
Oh, they were. And like I say, I've got... let me apply a caveat, right? Because this isn't one I'm going to, watch again in a hurry. I just think it's, phenomenally... this phenomenally crafted episode of telly.
We had Love and Monsters.
What, as banger? That's not fair. Look, there are episodes of Doctor Who that I would enjoy more to if I was just going to throw one on, it probably wouldn't be this one. But I got to the end of this, and I don't know if it was just whether I was in a good headspace watching it, but this is incredible. This is a really good 45 minutes of TV.
This is a good This is a good 45 minutes of TV. This is a good episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like my opinion of it has kind of wavered. It's difficult because it's difficult to kind of articulate what I'm feeling without getting really into the sort of the nitty-gritty of it. But because of what's come beyond this point in terms of Doctor Who,
Yeah.
there's elements of this which don't feel quite right and don't work for me necessarily. And I think because of that, it's in like a weird spot where it's not quite as. Don't get me wrong, some really great moments in this episode, and I do love it, and it is a good episode. But there's some moments which also seem odd and don't necessarily hit quite as hard for me personally.
Okay, because it's been not disregarded, but stuff has been changed since that. You go, that lessens the impact of that moment.
Not even that stuff has been changed, but just that like certain choices and decisions seem odd with what we know down the line. Like,
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and like I said, I'll go into that as we go along. But
in 2 years, I'll maybe feel the same, but we'll see.
Well, yeah, maybe.
All right, let me do a roundup of where we're at, just so that we've all got the context and we're all caught up.
Hey, who turned out those lights?
Well, not me.
All right then.
Was it you?
No.
Was it you listening at home? No, right. There's little vermin things in the shadows that eat your face and then get in a little astronaut suit that you're in and puppet you around. Donna has been teleported out of the TARDIS quite painfully. There was a little shriek that she did, which was quite horrible last week. There are... the library is real. There's a little girl who lives in a fantasy world. And to top it all off, Riversong is here. And she knows the Doctor very well, but the Doctor has not met her yet. So has pretty much no idea whether he can trust this person or not. And anyway, cliffhanger, they're being cornered. There's Hey Who Turned Out the Lights monsters very close to them, and all hope seems lost. Nathan, what happens?
I actually don't know.
The squareness gun.
Oh, okay. Yeah, squareness gun.
Something that emits a blue light saves them, Nathan. What a surprise.
It's different. Hey, you can't be having that.
The device of the week saves them.
No, that's not fair.
I'm counting this on my Sonic quota.
No, you can't do that. That's not fair. It's not a regular weapon of choice for the Doctor. It's not a tool of choice for the Doctor. It's not something he ever uses. So, and it's not something he uses this week either. So.
I guess that's fair. Did they resolve the Doctor dances? Did this open with this exact resolution?
Look, Lawrence, you might be right. Okay.
It's been a while since
actually,
we watched
it. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. The Doctor dances. The Doctor fucks, to give it its proper title.
Yes,
was the hospital people, all of them with gas masks and stuff, surrounding Rose, Jack, and the Doctor, being like, "Are you my mummy? Are you my mummy?" And then the Doctor got stern with them and sent them to bed, didn't he?
Oh, that is right. Yeah, but Jack does shoot through a wall at some point, right?
Yeah, later on in the episode, though.
Okay, so it gets him out of a little pickle, but not. It doesn't count unless it's a cliffhanger pickle.
Yeah, that's right. Fair. So it's not the same cliffhanger. So,
all right, fine. I will concede. I will lose that point. I'll take the L. Nathan, Donna is on the little girl's telly, but she's in some sort of ward, and she's been there for 2 years apparently. When we first touch in with her, and Dr. Moon has been treating her. This is like just it's just a delight of a drama, like centric piece, right? Like there's so much you could squeeze out of this. Like, I don't know, it's something about that's always been interesting. Like The Matrix is a good film, but it's always like something about putting people in a dollhouse and they don't quite know what's real and what's not. It's a great little concept.
Yes. What do you mean about dollhouse?
Like, basically they're kind of at the whims of whoever put them there, and this creator that can kind of there's external forces that have them there, control what they do, and they're kind of none the wiser to it.
Yeah.
Fantastic insight from you there.
I don't really know what you mean.
It's The Matrix. You've seen The Matrix. We've done a whole thing on The Matrix.
Yeah, I've seen The Matrix. Yeah.
It's The Matrix. It's that conundrum. Donna doesn't quite know what's real. Yeah. Things seem odd.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of The Matrix. It's... I don't know. It's really interesting the way it kind of like moves about like a TV show, and you know it's edited and there's like jump cuts and all this sort of stuff. But then like Donna is like seemingly aware of that, and it's like, like they're saying, oh, let's go for a walk and feed the ducks or whatever, and then they're just suddenly there because editing or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she's like, what the fuck is going on? How do we get her? And then Dr. Moon's gaslighting her and all this sort of stuff. It's I don't know, it's weird, but it's really interesting. It's almost like creepy. There's something about like, especially in like the first half of the episode, about this like dream world sort of thing that has like a very creepy vibe to it. Donna's just suddenly at a care home, and then she's a mother with like 2 10-year-old children or something, and she's married, and it's like, where's her life gone? Where did all this kind of stuff come from? And all while the little girl is the little girl's watching Doctor Who.
Yeah, basically.
Back in her home.
She's like us for real.
Yeah, she's just like us. Yeah. She's fucking back and forth between Doctor Who and whatever soap opera Donna has landed herself in. So
yeah, I think it's like it's a really impressive feat to be able to like show us what are just the standard edits of a TV show. But for Donna to acknowledge it, it immediately unsettles you, and you're just like when she's like, hang on a minute, I just said that, and now we're here, and I'm like, hang on, you shouldn't know that. Yeah. And then when Dr. Moon's like, we walked down the stairs, we said hello to your neighbor on the way, and then you remembered, and it's like,
yeah.
I don't know about this very much.
But then it kind of drops it though. Do you not think it kind
of?
I
think it's fairly consistent.
I don't know if it is, because she very quickly gets used to it, because she's like, we're down by the lakes. Oh, there's this guy. We can't talk. We'll go fishing or whatever. But then she's just suddenly like, so fishing. And then they are fishing, but she's not like, she's not confused at any point during those parts. It's like, and then she's like being carried. They got married, but like,
but have never they met each other 5 minutes ago. Yeah,
we didn't see that, and Donna doesn't seem to even notice it by that point. So,
well, there is that kind of element where Miss Evangelista says like, you're constantly being conditioned to not look. You will catch glimpses of it and moments, and she does pick up on a fair amount of things that she goes, that didn't quite work, like that doesn't feel right for me. But yeah, there are moments where it does just go unnoticed, and like, I don't know, I guess that's just, she's got to be in some peril for us to give a shit, right? So I guess it's like, to have her, like, it'd be pretty boring if she landed in that world and she was like, this is wrong, where's the doctor, I know what's going on. And kind of had all the cards.
Yeah, I agree. But at one point, Dr. Moon becomes the Doctor. And she's like...
yeah, that
and then she gets
I'll admit, that's the part of the episode I'm not a fan of. Like, that...
Why?
Because it just broke it a little bit too much. I liked the fact that Donna felt so out of the loop that it almost felt like this entirely separate story going on. I don't know.
But it's not.
No, I know it's not.
I don't want a separate story.
She had enough of an inkling in her head that stuff was wrong.
Yeah.
So it felt a little bit like, to me, that like the Doctor appearing there in place of Dr. Moon felt a little bit like, how do we let the children watching this know that she's cottoned on? Like, to see David Tennant as the Doctor and then go, that's the Doctor. It's like the clearest indication possible of Donna's doubting this world.
Yeah, I guess you can see it like that. I didn't really like. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see it that way. To me, it wasn't a look, kids. This is not the real world or whatever. Because like, I already know that. Like,
yeah, I guess, yeah, but like, we're adults.
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. To me, it just made sense within the story because like. The Doctor is Sonic in the Doctor Moon, and he's like just interfering with the signal at that point. So
yeah, I guess later on it does become more cohesive when it's like he's a computer and the Doctor is trying to disable a firewall, essentially.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. No, yeah, I guess it works out. I've got a note that just says like slow the fuck down because this episode moves like within 5 minutes.
Yeah, this episode does not stop really. Like. Is at a breakneck pace. It's just like once we get going, we're off. We're running through the whole library, mate. There's no time to think about anything. Hey, who turned out the lights? Doesn't matter. We don't have time to think about that. Let's go.
The age-old question, Nathan. Who turned out the lights?
I have no idea, Dave. Stop asking me.
Yeah, fucking always Dave just harping on this fucking one thing. No, I got a note to speak to your like Dr. Moon essentially being a security protocol. he feels unnerving. There's this great little line where it like takes on a new life on a rewatch, where it's like he's assessing Donna, and he's there to be her, like he's treating her. He says that, and then like Donna is married and has children, and he says like, oh, it's so like when you first came to me, like you were a bit, unwell. It's so nice to see you now completely integrated, and like. That's a very technical term for like finishing a program. Like you're now at one with this space.
Yeah.
Like just very those like I think it's good writing on Big Moth's part of just like having him speak just that one degree of separation outside of like how humans actually talk to each other.
Do you remember when we did the I say remember like it was years ago, it was literally like 2 episodes ago, but the Unicorn and the Wasp. And we had my weirdo, who was the most suspicious and shady fucking cunt ever, the butler.
Yeah.
Who for no reason was like, here's your drink, doctor. And he was so sinister and shady.
Yeah.
But there was no reason for him to be like that. There was absolutely no payoff or anything. There was no reason to explain why he was like that. Like, this Moffat has like just done like basically that, but then done it how you're supposed to, and like give a reason and actually have a payoff for the character. Initially, you're watching this, you're like, "Oh, Dr. Moon is a little bit sinister, isn't he? I wonder what's going on there." But it's like, no, he's just a nice guy. He's just someone who is there to help with like people integrate into this fucking hard drive, basically, and to make it as easy and not as traumatic as possible for them. Like at first, you're like, "Oh, what is going on?" But it's like, oh no, there's nothing wrong.
He recognizes that you're in a pants scenario, and it's just like, I can make
it's just the Dr. Moon doing exactly what it's programmed to do, to help people. And yeah, it's quite nice.
I did like that. But anyway, moving kind of back into the library, because obviously these are, we constantly, did I just say constantly?
You did say constantly. I thought it was weird, yeah.
We're constantly kind of going back and forth between these two stories that are going on. And there's a really tiny moment, I've never noticed it before, where they need to check like what the Vashta-Nerada presence is in this room that they found, this new safe haven. And they basically, the River just goes, "We need another chicken leg." And there's this moment where it just looks around, and it's other Dave. Proper Dave's the dead one, right? Yeah, other Dave just kind of has this look where he looks and he's just already holding this chicken. He's like, ugh. And he just like hands over his chicken. It's like, oh, like knowing that man dies in like 10 minutes, like, oh, just give him his chicken, man. It feels so nasty.
He didn't want to give up his lunch.
I just really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's a silly little moment, but yeah, funny. Anyway, the Doctor and River are having like a back and forth. The Doctor is kind of just getting increasingly more and more frustrated that he has no, like, everything else that's going on, like he can't even know fully who this person who's helping him. Donna's gone, so he has to solely rely on River Song, and he has no idea who she is. She's kind of, her being there is more questions than answers for him. Yeah. And I like that he gets more and more frustrated with that. And then there's just this like fantastic, and let's not say anything, but there's a fantastic, I think the show makes it fairly evident, when the guy goes like, "Look at you two squabbling like an old married couple." And that look that they just give each other of like, what a look, man. This episode has so many like little moments punctuated like that just feel great.
Steven is definitely hinting at them being a married couple throughout this episode. It definitely, with the end and everything like that, the way things go, like with just this episode alone, I'm not talking about what comes later, but with just this, it kind of does give you the impression that River is the wife of the Doctor.
Yeah.
She knows his name. And then there's one point later in the episode where David says, like, there's only one reason I would ever tell anyone my actual name. There's only one time I ever could. And yeah, it's a great moment. I do enjoy that little, like, stop squabbling like a married couple, and the little almost scared look on the Doctor's face.
Yeah.
Like, if that's who this person is, what does that mean for his future and stuff? I don't know, it's a scary thing to come to terms with, really, for him.
It is completely, and it's like, for the first time in a long time, he has no idea what's next. Like he just because his life has been so, even though he doesn't know exactly where he's going and what he's going to do, his life for so many years up until this point has been get in the TARDIS, go somewhere, and like see what's up. And to have this kind of marriage by definition is a commitment, right? So like it's fucking having that put in front of him and having him reconcile with the fact that he has to lend himself to an idea for like clearly a lengthy period of time, he would assume. Like it's terrifying him, and and
I think it also speaks to, like, you know, we talked before, like in the Doctor's daughter episode, this is a Doctor who's scared of being emotionally available, okay, because of the past traumas that he's had. You know, at one point, the Doctor did have a family. You know, we talked about it. He had Susan, so he would have presumably had some form of family, possibly a wife, kids, however that looked for him. And over the years, that's all been lost, and there's just more and more trauma that's been piled onto that. And the 10th Doctor at this point in his life is very much at a period where he's like shutting that out as much as possible.
Yeah.
So to then be like, oh, at some point in the future, I possibly have a wife, and it's this woman in front of me who I don't even know. Like, fuck, that's weird. That's a big change from how things are now.
And it's like, it's tangible. It's in front of him. It's inarguable that this is someone important to him, and he's terrified of that. Like, he almost didn't get a warning. Like, so he's like, hang on, this person's here, and suddenly she means a lot to me, and I kind of know that deep down in myself anyway. This isn't fair. I love the it's kind of the first time where I mean, maybe this has happened in the past, but like it punctuates this episode quite nicely, where it's the first time that she says, I'm so sorry I have to do this, but you need to trust me because we don't have the fucking time for this. And she reveals what we later find out is his name. And we see, obviously, that is such a moment of trust. And the Doctor understands that, at least in the future, he must, you know, trust this woman wholeheartedly with every fiber of himself. But
I get the sense that Stephen Moffat really likes the mystery of the Doctor's name.
Yeah.
Because it's something he plays with quite a bit. Like, it was brought up in the Madame de Pompadour episode, in the Girl in the Fireplace.
Oh yes, it was actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, because they do that like psychic connection thing, and she's able to, like, Doctor Who, it's more than just a secret, isn't it? And all that sort of stuff. And you know, there's a few episodes throughout Moffat's era which are surrounded by, you know, the Doctor's name and what it means and all that sort of stuff. It's
to this day, there's fewer funnier moments in Doctor Who than when people realised name of the Doctor was a double meaning title of an episode, and people were like, "What? No!"
Yeah,
I thought we were finally going to get, I don't know, what like you. That's one of them names where you can't make it up.
You can never ever actually reveal what the Doctor's name is, because what could it possibly be?
It takes away so much of the intrigue, and also like anything that you do right will sound wrong. Like, I remember there was plenty of people that, and this is unrelated, but like there's plenty of people that like rejected the name Grogu. They were like, no, that's Baby Yoda. It's like it doesn't, anything that anyone chooses at this point now, because he's been the Doctor for so long, will sound wrong, and some people won't accept it.
Of course, yeah, and I think they'd be right, because the show's called Doctor Who. It's
the whole thing.
Yeah, like I don't think the show ever should reveal his name, and because it's not something we necessarily need. It is infinitely more interesting not knowing that mystery.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But yeah, no, just to end that moment, I love that he obviously realizes who River is, or at least how important she is, and how much he's going to trust her. And it's the first time in a long time, I think, where the Doctor has to just take it on faith that his future self has made a good decision.
Yeah,
and go, I know who I am now. And it's also, I guess there's another level of it where like there's a part of him that's like, was this me? Or was this like another me? Do I trust that version of myself?
Yeah, I guess there's also, I mean, is the scene where she tells him his name, is that also the scene where she's like, you know, the Doctor, the man who can like turn an army around with a mention of his name, and it's all like,
I think that might come with when she talks to Anita later, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, yeah, you're right. But he does. He gets like these little snippets of like information as well, where she's talking about like, he can open the TARDIS with a click of his fingers, next stop anywhere, and all that sort of stuff. And like,
You're right.
yeah, someone dropped off my desk, and like, yeah, he's just getting those little nuggets, and he's like, no, you can't open a TARDIS with the click of your fingers. That's not how it works. Like, push open the doors that say pull. This is long established law. This is what happens every single time.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, it's just interesting.
It is. It absolutely is. I love the like this, and I can't. I was reminded of a thing that you said a while back in the Last of the Time Lords episode, where apparently and again, this is not an era I'm overly familiar with, Moffat's run. But like you said that there's a consensus or a general kind of dislike for how the Doctor is often treated as like a god and a deity, and Moffat tends to write him in this infallible sort of way.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not what I think. That's what people say, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think that there's probably limitations, and people probably do blow that up more so than it is. But like, this is cool. It's nice to see the Doctor being treated as this otherworldly figure. Like the whole like he can. It's cool when you tell me that one person can turn an army running. Like, that's just objectively cool. So I don't mind it.
And it also, I think something Stephen Moffat does really well is he really builds on like the mythology of the Doctor and like the Doctor's reputation throughout the universe. And something that's so interesting that he played with is like, what is a hero for some is a villain and a monster for others as well. And, there's opposing sides. And, there's one side that like, the Doctor's come to save us. He's this godly, otherworldly hero. But then there's innocent people on all sides. And what do they think of this creature who can turn whole armies running, and he can open his magical box with a click of his fingers, and he does all this crazy and insane stuff. And it's very interesting, that stuff he plays. That's all obviously to come, but we do start to get like little snippets of his here and there, and I think this is later in the episode. We are jumping ahead a little bit, but I think we get a taste of it with the Doctor being like, we're in the biggest library in the universe. I'm the Doctor. Look me up. And then it's like,
there is a reason that moment comes in this episode specifically, and I love it.
Yeah.
Like it again, this is what I'm saying. I think this we already said, because obviously by nature of it being written by Stephen Moffat and introducing a character that is so well known for the next showrunner's tenure, like there's an element of it's like one of my favorite eras of the show and one of my favorite Doctors, but with like slightly better storytelling and more evolved premises that I think are interesting to see happen in this episode. But yeah, I don't know. I quite like that. After all of that, he goes back to like the one thing that the 10th Doctor knows how to do, and it's just like all eyes are on him, and it's a stressful and emotional moment for him. And then he goes, anyway, I'll tell you the one thing about this here Sonic and this blah blah blah, like, and he just starts monologuing because he's like, I have to look smart, I have to regain control of this now. And that's exactly. It's, and you kind of even see Riverson looking at him being like, yeah, there he goes. we touched on a moment, but great.
And then we get some like more little nuggets about this new Sonic, and then it's like it's more advanced than his currently, because it's got like red settings and dampers and all this sort of stuff, which is
I loved. Use the red setting. Do you think there's a red and blue pill quality to this Matrix heavy episode already? Do you think that's like a little reference?
No, I don't think so. I've never seen it as that.
No. I haven't either until today.
I think you might be reading too much into that.
I think I might be, but it's not. It's a fun for me. If it was intended, it's a fun little thing. Like, it doesn't mean anything. But
no, it doesn't. I don't think it is anything like that. Also, what's a red setting? That's very vague, isn't it?
Considering the Sonic has specific settings for unlocking barbed wire. Yeah.
Yeah. And also the blue is the red setting. Does that mean it emits a red light instead of a blue light? Because the blue light is kind of like exclusive to this screwdriver, but like past Sonic screwdrivers have not even had a light. So like,
that's true. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Maybe if you go back all the way to William Hartnell's Sonic, and it goes. he goes to use it, and then like, I don't know, someone edits in a big red laser. That's the red setting. They just very seldom use it.
I don't even know if William Hartnell had a Sonic.
Oh yeah, it might have been introduced with Second Doctor, right?
I think it was introduced with Patrick Troughton. I might be wrong, but I think it was introduced with Patrick Troughton, and it's like this very small little thing.
That's nuts. That feels like a staple of the show. That's crazy.
Yeah, that might have been retconned or something since, but yeah, I don't know.
1,000 nerds cheer when David Bradley just pulls out a Sonic of his pocket, and they're like, "He has one. He has one. He just never needed it."
Well, the psychic paper feels like big Doctor Who lore, but that was introduced with Russell. That's
true. Doesn't it largely get forgotten as well? Like, doesn't the psychic paper kind of it becomes far less prevalent?
I think it's more prevalent during Russell's era, but it does pop up.
Yeah.
It does show up. I can't remember Capaldi using it that much, to be honest. But
Capaldi changed the game, doesn't he? Like he's got like different Sonic devices.
We'll talk about Capaldi's various Sonic devices. Trust me.
Okay.
When we get to there.
All right, moving on. Everyone's kind of squabbling and having a big old discussion and debate, and the Doctor's having an existential crisis. And there's just this really quiet moment where Anita looks down and goes, "Oh fuck, oh fuck," and it's, do you know what? Great little side character.
Yeah, she was really.
Yeah, just really like not much to do and not hugely interesting, but just I think she's played really earnestly by that performer, whoever that is. They did a good job of just like using those lines and
I think with Anita there was a really good moment like where I think it was River who was telling her to like, you know, like once they found out she had the two shadows, she was like getting her helmet and stuff, and she was like, "It's all right, calm down, don't panic." And she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm only dying, I'm not allowed to panic." You know, I think it's pretty reasonable if I am not entirely calm at the moment.
And she's pretty measured as it is. Like
she's very measured. Yeah, she's a very chilled out. Even if she's about to die, she's still handling it very well.
Yeah,
if you ask me.
She's got like a charm to her as well that she's written quite naturally. Like the Doctor's like, "Is there anything I can get for you?" And she's like, "An old age would be good." Like, like that, just good little quips that become heartbreaking as it goes on. Anyway, they do a little thing that we like when they say something to the effect of, "There are 5 people alive in this room, so why is there 6?"
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of becoming a bit of a staple for Moffat, isn't it?
It really is.
This little something's going on, something sinister is in the room with us, but you don't know it, but now you do. You know,
and it's not the only instance this episode as well.
No, but it's enjoyable though, isn't it?
Is, yeah.
I there's something about it. It seems like a very simple trick, but I love it every time. It's a really good trick.
There's magic in it. It gets you every time.
It does. Maybe you can like say it's fucking jingling keys and I'm happily eating it up or whatever, but I don't know, man. I like it.
I think if it works and it's effective, then like,
yeah.
I mean, it got you, like it got me.
It did.
So like, fuck us. It doesn't matter what we think. It worked. Yeah. Anyway, We'll come back to them in a bit. We're jumping back to the Donnaverse. What's going on over in fake
into
Donna
the
world?
Donnaverse.
Yeah, it's Donna Noble into the Donnaverse. So I just thought about that Rose Tyler meme with the kebab. When you throw your kebab away, it's like, but Donna's still in there.
Lauren, let's not spoil that. We got gold to come.
That's true, yeah. We can pretend we thought of it. Anyway, yeah, so Donna looks out the window and sees a cloaked figure passing by the house, and then she kind of has this moment with Lee, where she's just talking, saying, "I don't feel right. Things feel weird. I'm not necessarily keen on this." And then there's a knock on the door. Lee goes to check it out, and the hooded figure has left a little note in her letterbox.
They both seem entirely too calm about the fact that someone in a like gothic veil, like 18th century gothic veil,
the Grim Reaper has left a letter.
Yes. The image of death itself has put a fucking note through the door saying the world is not real or whatever. Meet me tomorrow. And like they're both like, "Oh, that's a bit strange." I would be freaking out. I'd be terrified. I'd be calling the police immediately.
I can forgive it more so on Donna's part because she's already started to unravel. She's already started to look in the cracks a little bit. But Lee is just like, this is where my 2 children sleep. My wife sleeps.
Yeah.
And he's just been like, oh, look, some freak has left you a note saying meet you at this specific place that they could only know if they'd already been observing you. And it's like, he's just like, what a nutter. And then off to bed he goes. Like, no, come on, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't be going to sleep that night. I wouldn't feel safe.
At that point as well, Miss Evangelista, like, Donna saw her out the window. She's probably less than 100 meters away from the house. Like,
exactly, and she's there just looking at them like, oh, no.
Also, just...
Absolutely not.
There's the next scene is Donna does go to that little meet-up spot. And this... I can't decide whether this caught me off for being amusing or terrifying. And I think it just made me feel uncomfortable, so I didn't know how to react.
Which part? The face?
Not the face. More just this... I wrote it down as this horrifying, black-veiled, face-covered, raggedy, ripped-cloaked figure.
Yeah.
Just observing a children's play park. As there's just children happily playing. And this figure is just like, I'll be sat here. You know what it feels like, you know? I can't describe... I don't know the specific meme. But, like, you know, there's all those... Sometimes there's those memes where, like, there's just normal people and then there's a big goth. And they seem wildly out of place.
I think this might be a little controversial. I think these days we are a lot more sensitive about anything to do with children. And if we see like an adult in anywhere near children, we have immediate red flags. And they're like like an adult who is not that the child's parent or something like that, we're immediately like on course, because the world is a terrible place and a lot of horrible stuff happen.
Yeah. So
I think we're like kind of conditioned now to be immediately suspicious and be like, what are you doing here? Why are you staring at these children? And that sort of stuff. I think in 2008, 2007 or whatever, I don't necessarily think that's the case. Maybe.
I agree, but it's also just by nature of like look at her. She's in the Grim Reaper costume.
I mean, yeah, she's sinister. She's in a gothic veil, for fuck's sake. But I don't think there's anything like what you're suggesting.
No, I guess not. I did. Maybe this is also a reach. I quite liked that it was like maybe this is a reach, but I think it's like there's a metaphor in here about this like a figure looking over like children playing, like that dollhouse idea I was talking about, where just this kind of present figure is watching over like these infants go about their day, but to them it's just nothing. It doesn't mean anything. They're just playing on a slide, and you know, Donna's going to work and Lee's going fishing. None of it matters. None of it's real. Like, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't agree. It's fine.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You can move on.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Did you notice the like Murray Gold just
Lawrence,
dropping?
what I did notice is that we will be back in a moment after these wonderful and lovely ads.
Okay, fair enough.
And Lawrence, we're back from those lovely and wonderful ads.
Oh wow, yeah. Feels like we've been gone for ages. We haven't.
Great.
Did you notice Murray Gold like slapping some sort of electro needle drop beat?
Yes, the guitar bit. Yeah, I did notice that. There was one when he cut back to the library, there was this weird little electric guitar riff sort of thing, which I immediately picked up. I was like, "Oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is something a little bit different. I'm liking this.
It's fucking good, man. It got me fist pumping. I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's go." Yeah, very good. But anyway, we also skipped over the face. Miss Evangelista's here. She's got a fucked face.
Yeah, no, she does. So she lifts the veil and then I don't know. Is it supposed to be scary? Because
it's not.
It's not. No, and it wasn't for me when I was younger either. It's always been funny to me. It's just I don't know. There's just something. It looks like a Snapchat filler or something.
I think by today's standards, it looks funnier than it was. Like, yeah, I was probably creeped out watching this, but I'm also like, this is going to sound like a dig, but it's not. I was also a bit younger, so I probably did get a bit more spooks than you did.
Okay.
It's fact, Nathan.
Oh, and thank you to everyone who sent me birthday messages. That was very sweet.
Yeah, and thank you to the man who made that possible as well by sending that tweet. No? Okay, no, fine. No, no room for that, I guess. Yeah, it's not, like, I guess it is intended to be scary because Charlotte, Cal screams and is like, that's terrifying.
Yes.
But, yeah, I just saw it and I was like, it's a bit silly, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe if we, like, Snapchat filters didn't exist, it might... There's an alternate world out there where, like, it is a bit spookier. And it is... Yeah. There is a part of it where it is a bit unnatural and twisted, but it's not scary imagery. They didn't nail that look, I don't think.
No, definitely not. Yeah, it's just always seemed weird to me. But that's the... I think it's a little bit later, but that's kind of the scene where we get the second Moffat, you know, there's more than one thing here, or whatever the thing is.
Yeah. What happens next? What goes on next? Let's have a look.
Okay, you don't want to talk about that.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. You don't want to talk about the children reveal at all?
Okay, we
yeah.
can.
What happens next? All right, yeah. No,
well, I just thought you said it. Like, that's what it is, isn't it?
I thought, how did you feel about that reveal? But if you want to move on, I mean, that's fine.
No, we can talk about it.
Oh, can we? Okay.
I will allow it, Nathan.
That's nice of you. How very pleasant.
Yeah, no, it is a bit spooky. I also like that it does kind of set up this daunting thing now where once Donna's noticed it, it can't really be taken back. Like, it's she's seen it now, so forever to her children are like, she obviously cares for them, and that's evident towards the later half of the episode as well. But, like, there's an element where she knows, like, and now it's unavoidable. She lives with these two people. Every time she looks at them, she's gonna think something is wrong.
I guess there's just, like, no kids allowed in the library. Really?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
because there's clearly no kids there.
Yeah.
So I guess there's some, and if there's 4,022 people, you'd think that at least one of them would be a kid, unless there's some kind of, like, maybe it's like a sexy 18+ library. Who knows? But
yeah. maybe it's all NSFW content, this library.
Yeah. Did you notice the kids at all? Or was it one of those? Like,
I don't know if did they show it before the reveal?
They, a little bit. It's like out of focus, and like, it's more like little hints of it, because you see, like, it's just like the outfits, really, because you do see the other kid. I don't think you ever see, like, their faces, but you see, like, you know, it's the same outfit, isn't it?
That's because it was just like 7 different actual kids with the same coat on. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, it's like teased at, I think.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on it. Okay. And it's also it's a fairly small moment anyway, so I didn't even remember it going into this. But it is a nice little thing that is just it increases a spook factor to the world that Donna's in. Yeah. Anyway, back in the library, the Doctor does something that I think is a bit fucked up.
What's that?
So he's there, and Proper Dave, who Turned Out the Lights, comes in. And he's piping off on what he normally is. He's saying, "Hey, who turned out the lights?" And the Doctor's like, "Bloody hell, here we go." And he says, like, "Those are the last thoughts of a man that you killed." And it kind of stops the Vashnarada, and like the Doctor's like it's kind of this moment where he's like, "For shame, you puppeteer this dead man for your own game. For shame. Anyway, use that and talk to me." He just like, I don't. There's a part of it that's like, he's like, "This is immoral and wrong, and you shouldn't do this. But if you're gonna, then at least let's have a chat." Well, I know he had not many options.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to figure stuff out.
I don't know. Just maybe I like to think of like Proper Dave's consciousness somewhere still in there, being like, "Thank you. They're gonna let me go. This is torturous." And then the Doctor's like, "So chat with me," and he's like, "Motherfucker, this is gonna hurt a lot more."
I don't think they're gonna let him go. I don't think at any point they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you're right, fair one. It is a bit harsh, actually."
No, but it's nice to hear someone fight your corner, isn't it? Like,
well, I just think the Doctor knows they're never gonna be like, "Yeah, we'll give him up." Actually, why not?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and I do see that his hands were tied a little bit, but it just made me laugh.
Right.
Anyway, this is something else I didn't forget. I knew it, and like when it was said out loud, because I haven't seen this episode in a while, I was like, oh, that it clicked, and I was like, that's great. That's a good reveal, and that is the doctor's like, you were hatched here. This is where you live, and then it's a forest. They're
books.
It's books, paper, trees, forest.
Yeah, and we know how books work.
Yeah, look, I didn't want to assume, so I had to lay it down.
This is why they're not on an iPad, Lawrence. This is why all the books aren't just digital files on an iPad, all right?
It removes
the Narada can't be in an iPad, okay? So there we go.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense now. People think of the craziest things, don't they? Like,
what do you mean?
No, just like sometimes do you not like watch things sometimes and you go like, someone conceptualized that idea in their head and put it to paper, and it works really well, and it's dumb and it works. Like,
conceptualize the idea that books are paper?
No, but like, what if the library in the universe had like the trees that were cut down to make the books?
The trees were infected.
Yeah, what a concept.
Yeah, definitely quite interesting.
Just think it's very, very cool. And then they hit you with I guess at this point we could start coining the phrase a Moffatism, couldn't we?
What's the phrase?
So it would be in place of you get hit with the "we should go, Doctor."
Yeah.
A few things in the background, and again, like, I should be immune to it, but it got me again.
Oh, so this is the second one you was talking about.
Is there a third?
Yeah, the kids.
Oh my god, the kids.
That was the second one I was talking about. That's why I brought it up earlier.
Oh my god, yeah, no,
then you just didn't even mention it, and I was like, that seemed weird.
No, I meant this one. This is the second one that I could remember. Like the fake out of the background line repeated one too many times before I clocked it.
Well, there we go then.
Yeah.
3 in 1. Yeah.
So are we coining that Moffatism? Is that something we can say?
Yeah, I guess we can.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, just nothing more to say on it other than it got me. And goddamn, how many more times will Moffat pull this trick on me?
Probably quite a few.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what happens next? The Doctor gets out of a scenario in quite a silly way.
It is a bit silly. It's a bit. It's just, I'll just go through this hole in the floor, and then I'll do the monkey bars along the bottom of this bridge between skyscrapers or whatever's going on here.
It's an insane place to have a trapdoor, considering it leads to air.
Yeah,
and like I don't know, I guess 1,000 feet drop.
Yeah, I don't quite understand it. It's placement myself, but you know, Doctor got to get out there. So
also, is it wood? It's wooden floor, right? Check one.
That's what we call a plot hole. That's not true. It's not a plot hole. It's just a silly error.
Is it a goof?
A goof? Yeah, maybe.
Anyway,
continuity error.
We're watching Moffat, and I've seen cinema since, so I know that now the entire episode is bad.
Ding.
Ding indeed. Oh, we haven't dusted the ding off in a while.
I should get a ding sound effect, shouldn't I?
Oh, no, we shouldn't. We actually really shouldn't.
Yeah, probably not.
This is the scene of we get a bit of sizzle from River Song. She's speaking to Anita, and we've already touched on it a little bit, but the Doctor can make armies turn and run away. Mm-hmm. And that is just fucking cool. That's just a cool thing to say, because up to this point, we've seen the Doctor do incredible things. Speaking strictly about the revival, we've seen the Doctor do impressive things, but we haven't seen like a war on this, like on a scale of like there's an army facing down the Doctor.
Yeah.
And like in the ones that we have, I guess like Doomsday would be the exception, but like it's the Daleks and the Cybermen, and they have their own relationships with each other.
Yeah.
Like the Daleks aren't scared. They can be scared of the Doctor, but they're more willing to give it a go. But this, I guess, I don't know, as this does get quite literally touched upon.
it does, like this exact thing gets paid off.
Yeah.
We see this exact moment. Yeah, in what is possibly one of the coolest moments in Doctor Who. It's very good.
It's a clip I will never pass. If I see it on my YouTube recommended, I'm like, I got 5 minutes for this.
It's very good, but yeah, there is some stuff here that like that we get like little nuggets of from River, and yeah, it's definitely Stephen was saving that gold for a later day. Really.
And good on him, like
yeah,
just genuinely fucking cool. Anyway, we'll get to that, but what I like about this is the Doctor then is. We don't realise that he's back in this scene. Luckily, the scaffolding has led him back to this room.
Which is the same room. Is it this? Oh no, that was the one earlier, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah, it was. Yeah, they were like
the one earlier was just the same room from before, but I think maybe the lighting was a little bit different.
Yeah. And maybe they were filming it from like the different side of it, of that one circular room. Yeah. No, we get this kind of harsh cut to the 10th Doctor. Who, I'll be honest, right? It just looks cool. He's standing on a railing. He's a bit cheesed off because another person has died.
Do you know why he looks cool?
Why?
You know.
Oh, don't. All right, maybe yes. Okay, fine.
Yeah. He's wearing that beautiful blue suit, Lawrence. That's why he looks cool, all right?
But I don't know, it just, the way he's standing there and like he's gripping the railing and it just hard cuts to him. I'm pretty sure there's a little bass sound effect to emphasize it, and he just goes spoilers, and it's like oh he's, I don't know, I looking back on it, like I didn't realize that like the ego was so prevalent in this storyline. I didn't realize that this actually set off the events of quite a lot of Time Lord Victoria stuff. Like I think there's elements of this where basically people accidentally blow a bit of smoke up the Doctor's arse in this episode, and his ego really comes into check here. Part of the episode I hadn't really considered up until this point. But anyway, it cuts back to this is a fun little point I like. It cuts back to Donna and Miss Evangelista, but so that we left them, they were on the bench, and she was like, "My face is fucked," and then and then when it cuts back, Donna is sat on the bench, but Miss Evangelista is just walking back to the bench. Like she's got off the bench, gone somewhere else, and she's walking back, and she sits down in the scene. So I'm like, I don't know. It just where'd she go?
I don't know. I've never noticed that, to be fair.
Yeah,
I've never noticed that.
It's super strange. Like I don't know if it was maybe they didn't have like coverage or good footage of her saying the line, so they were like, we have this wide, I guess we can just use that to establish it. Maybe, yeah. But yeah, it just made me laugh because it's kind of like I get, I don't know why your mind fills in the gaps, and she's like, oh, what's that over there? And then she comes back and Donna's like, anything of it? And she's like, nah, I don't know. Anyway, your kids are not real. Like, yeah, little funny little bit that I've never noticed before. The Doctor has the realization. I think the nerd, the one that loves lawyers, the nerd. He maybe says something like, "Oh, what does he say? He says saved or safe, but it's an important distinction. But I can't remember what one he actually said.
I can't remember what he says, but yeah, he basically says something like that, and then that clicks off in the Doctor that like he's missed something in the 4022 saved, no survivors, and he's like, people don't say that. I'm like, I think they do. Yeah, I think it. I like what it's going for, but like, yeah, people do say that. Like, yeah, I don't know, like local hero saved the day. It's just, like people say it. Yeah, 100 lives saved in tragic. Whatever, like that could be a news headline. Like,
listen to us naturally be like, people say this all the time, and then we just say two of the most unnatural sounding sentences anyone's ever heard.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of right because like they don't question it until like a little bit later. Because I would never question it if I saw like 4022 saved. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. 4022 safe doesn't make sense to me necessarily.
Less sense. Yeah.
Yeah, less sense, if anything. I think it's the other way around.
Massive L for Steve.
Oh, no, actually, now that I think about it, Yeah, because if it is like, if there was like a tragic on the news and it's like fucking 22 people safe, fucking in like car accident or whatever. I don't know why I keep going back to car accident, but like,
hey, Stephen Moffat,
yeah,
acclaimed writer, we know it better.
no. What I'm saying is, I think it might be right actually.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Because I don't know, like. I don't know, bus crashes into a building, 16 safe.
Still an automobile accident, Nathan.
All right, well, you fucking come up with one then.
I agreed with you. I'm on board.
Well, you're not agreeing with me. You're making fun of me.
Sorry. No, yeah, I guess it does work, but like more to the point of it, I think it's a cool little swap. It's cool that we actually got the solution last episode. And it largely went unnoticed.
But basically, he works it out that they're saved, as in saved to the hard drive of the library.
Clever, very clever.
Yeah, and then Cal is a little girl or whatever.
Yes, yeah. I'm just well, but hang on. Before we get to Cal being a little girl, Donna is annoyed about the Matrix because she's been dieting, and none of that matters anymore.
Yeah, don't like that. It seems weird.
You don't?
No, seems weird.
I thought that was a bit
Seems
fun.
like one of those. No, it seems like one of those naughties. Like, yeah.
I don't think there's anything intrinsically weird about it. I think it's just like, I don't know, like losing weight is hard, and if it's all just empty effort.
Yeah. I don't know. Just seems like
Little joke.
whatever.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I think there are some jokes in this that we'll get to in maybe a later segment that are a bit like,
Oh, okay.
that seems nasty and
we'll see.
pointed.
Oh, I think I might know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, Charlotte deletes. I really like this. All right, I like that Charlotte deletes her dad, and then like she uses a TV remote, which is like, I guess, like the show's clever way of being like, it's the library stuff. It's how she interacts with it, because it shows that through the TV and everything else. But I just like the fact that this is like this kind of central hub, this main hard drive. It still has the characteristics of a child, and it will just like, things become too much for the child, so it self-destruct. It has a tantrum and self-destructs. And it just like, I don't know. There's something about it where like she like Charlotte goes on the warpath. She's like, her dad comes in. She's like, "Shut up, Dad!" Deletes him. Dr. Moon's there. He's like, "Shut up, Dr. Moon!" Deletes him as well. Like it feels like a kind of a like petulant little child just throwing toys out the pram, and that's exactly what it is.
Maybe it's not a good idea to put the consciousness of a child in a planet-sized hard drive,
and then be like, "Come and look, one and all, to this universe."
maybe that's not that good, but I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it seems like a large oversight.
Yeah.
And I'd argue that like we get like, this is a family little secret that should be public knowledge. People should have the right to choose whether to go there or not.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess it's never like been at risk. Like, if they're doing a risk assessment or whatever, they're never like, but what if she blows up or whatever, you know?
Yeah, but you have to consider it, because as this episode
would you
proves,
consider
she
it?
can blow up.
Well, but they don't know that necessarily. Maybe like this is the first time it's ever happened.
I guess, yeah. All right, there's a gravity platform. Are you happy that there is, for once in the show, a lift that isn't using the season 2 stock footage of the lift?
It was using season 1. It was in the first episode. It was in Rose.
Oh God, it was.
Yeah. No, I love lift.mp4. Bring it back.
Okay, yeah. So this is a cop out.
Yeah, I want it brought back.
I wanted an old timey lift. Everything else was fine. The blue light was fine, but the second we see them traveling somewhere, it should have been that lift shot.
Blue light was fine. The dodgy kind of CGI look as David Tennant jumps down it later is fine.
Yeah.
It's all great, but I'd rather have lift.mp4. Really.
Yeah. Fair enough.
That's a joke. It's fine. I wouldn't.
No. You've said it now. I think you're committed to it. What got me was I said it earlier with like the kid copy stuff. It does kind of leave this impression on Donna that now like she can't ever unsee that. Now that that's kind of been broken in her head, and we get that the scene where basically the kids disappear in front of her. She's tucking them into bed.
Yeah.
And they just, I don't know what it is about children saying creepy lines. Like, and Stephen Moffat clearly has a thing about it as well with the, like, "Are you my mummy?" situation. But like when the kids go like, "Sometimes it feels like when you're not here, we're not here. Even when you close your eyes, we stop."
That is a creepy line.
Oh, yeah, like, right?
Yeah, that's one of those just like really good. Definitely, there's something about like children delivering lines which is inherently creepy. I don't know what it is, but there's something sinister about the innocence of children, like, but then also the creepy nature of it. It's like it's a big juxtaposition, really, which is probably why it's quite creepy. But yeah, that like we don't exist again, feeding into this like TV editing life she has again, which is haunting. Yeah,
Maybe a little our first taste of the universe being contingent on Donna, which is interesting as well. I thought, like, I know it's not the same thing that kind of goes about with the Dr. Donna stuff, but just, I don't know, I think it introduces the theme of Donna being important and sometimes the most important person.
I see what you're saying. I think it's more just because they're assets in a hard drive and they're not being used when Donna's not around.
It's fine. You don't agree. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, no, I do see your point. There's obviously an in-episode reason for it. It'd be very weird if there wasn't. But yeah, like before we move on from that scene as well, fucking Catherine Tate just again once, like, she just reminds us again how fucking special she is. Like,
powerhouse. She Donna and Catherine Tate, she's done such an amazing job of going from, especially in this era as well, when it was prime Catherine Tate show, I'm Not Bothered, all that sort of stuff. She's done such a good job of like kind of breaking out of that bubble and being like, I'm not just a comedy girl, I can actually do quite a lot more. And fuck, she can. She's so good.
She really can. And like it's quite crazy. Like maybe if you're not in the UK, you won't relate to this as much, but like she was a face of the era. She like defined a kind of almost a decade of TV.
Really did. It was like her and Little Britain were like the biggest things in like comedy for that era, really.
Exactly. And I think that it's like there is an achievement to it that.
And Little Britain is a horribly racist show.
It's so bad.
It's so racist.
I also like, and this is not me being like, well, I've always been on the right side of it. Like, I never found it that funny. I don't find David Walliams funny.
I don't find David Walliams funny. I think Matt Lucas can be funny.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about Matt Lucas eventually.
Oh my god, we will. Yeah.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, but Little Britain is odd. It's odd. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I've never liked it, because I did. I liked it when I was younger, and I didn't like. You know, I wasn't as woke as I am today.
No, but now you're an adult.
Yeah, but no, it was. It's honestly not even something I thought about for probably like fucking 15, 16 years. But then I think it was last year. I just randomly watched an episode of it on Netflix, and I was like, this is fucking weird.
Yeah,
man.
this is it's a real like staple of the era. A real.
There was some stuff which was funny, and I was laughing. I did like the Matt Lucas, the only gay in the village sort of stuff. I thought that was all very funny.
I remember that joke. Yeah.
But then there was some other stuff which was just. So you're just a woman who vomits whenever black people are around? This is okay.
I feel like it's a very unsafe show to watch as well, because like you could be like you say, there are moments of it which is like it's like sketch comedy that genuinely can be quite amusing, especially like delivered by comedians that like are funny. And then all of a sudden you could be laughing along, and then David Walliams in full blackface will just walk on the screen, and you'll go, "Hang on!"
Jump scare.
Yeah, not good.
Oh, we'll also discuss David Walliams at some point as well.
Oh, is it? Does he show his face?
Yeah, he does. So yeah, there we go.
Don't like David Walliams. Anyway. Just like I was saying, she defined like almost a decade of TV. So I think it's like such a fucking achievement that when I watch Doctor Who, I can look at her and see her purely as Donna Noble in these episodes.
Definitely. And she does an amazing job.
Yeah, and not Catherine Tate, one of the most famous figures of TV of the day. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the Cal. The Cal is a child node. Charlotte Abigail Lux was her name. She was this guy who loves lawyers, the nerd astronaut. She was.
What's this loves lawyers thing?
He's like, I'm protecting a patent. I'm get you to sign this document. He loves lawyers. That's that was his whole thing last week. He pretty much didn't do anything other than be like, here's some papers.
Yeah, but then in this episode we find out that's not actually the case. He's protecting a family.
Yeah, but right. All right, then what's his name? There you go.
I don't know. So, something Lux.
Yeah, you skate by on a technicality there.
Mr. Lux.
I think he actually is referred to as Mr. Lux and that.
I think he is.
All right, fine, you get it, but just know that I'm also right. Look, she was... Anyway, this girl was dying. This guy's grandfather's daughter...
So his mum or his aunt?
Yeah, so I feel like there's an easier way you could have said that.
I think so. I thought that too. Yeah.
My grandfather's daughter. Yeah. Yeah.
So probably his aunt, because I feel like otherwise he would have said his mum, and this person probably didn't have children. So
yeah, true. Yeah. So she was dying, so they put her mind in a computer so that she could live free whilst dead. I think this is like this is at the heart of a lot of dystopian stuff. This idea of like putting a consciousness or putting a mind in something. Like
it's not framed as that in any way, though.
No, it's not. Yeah,
it's if anything, it's the opposite. It's like, isn't this nice?
Yeah, I quite appreciate that, like that different approach to it and the levity that comes with it. And again, this is why I think Stephen Moffat can be like children. He uses children to great effect, whether that's to put them up as a paragon of innocence or to deliver the most chilling lines of the episode. Like, he just knows what he's doing, and doesn't just include kids to be like super spooky. That's it. Yeah. But yeah, I quite like this reveal, and I also quite like retroactively it does make astronaut lawyer nerd
Mr. Lux.
No, I'm not doing it. It makes him like you have to kind of revise your mindset on him, and see that like whilst I think this is wildly irresponsible, it's born from the right reasons.
But this is where the Doctor figures out that like the hard drive itself basically needs more memory space, so he can reverse the process of the saving and get everyone out of there and save the day, basically. But to do that, he's got to burn himself up, and he's like, yeah, sure, why not? That's just the Tuesday for me. Like, I'll happily just burn myself up.
I do think he was quite like cavalier about it. I feel like they skipped over that. Like,
he is though, isn't he? I think that's the thing about the Doctor. He often will like run into it and then kind of deal with the consequences later. Like,
true.
There's multiple occasions where like the idea of just giving his life for something, it's not even a thought to him. He's like, well, of course, like there's no other solution here, so this is what I'll do. But then there's other times where it's like the most harrowing thing in the world and he doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, like it is funny that like he's like basically throwing himself at the electric chair quite literally in this episode.
Yeah.
And then like I won't give away specifics, but there's another moment where he largely puts the guilt on an old man.
I think it's not a one-to-one comparison though.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I think there's something about the Doctor where they always should be kind of like, because that is the magic of the Doctor. The Doctor is ready to do that at any moment. I think the difference we're talking about with the end of time is more the regeneration process than actual death. I think if it came down to actual death, then it would be a different story. But it's the fact that it's life after death, to put it poorly, life after regeneration. And
that's the hardest thing for Ten to grapple with, is being him but not him.
Exactly. If it could just end and that's it, great. But the fact that it ends and then he has to be someone else and the 10th Doctor is gone, then that's where he has the difficulties.
I think he's so scared of like, I mean, I guess like it comes down to like a fear of death in general, but like there's always that thought in the back, and this like genuinely has kept me up at night before, like this fear of like, what if once I go, there's a part of me that knows I've gone, and like there's a part of my mind that experiences a new level of consciousness, but whilst dead. Like, and I think
that's literally a Doctor Who episode.
Is it? Does that happen?
Yeah, that's literally That's literally an episode to come. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm not excited for that one. I don't like that concept. It scares the fuck out of me. But like, I think there's where regeneration comes into it, as I feel like there's a part of like the sunken place factor of it. Like, there's a Doctor inside of the Doctor that is not at the wheel, and
it's kind of like not scared of death, but scared of dying.
Yeah.
Like the actual process of dying, because like with death you kind of don't have to worry about that, because
you're
like
gone.
Exactly, you don't have to. You can throw yourself off a building. You're not going to be around to deal with the consequences. Okay,
Yeah.
But like with the Doctor, that's kind of a different story. So
Yeah. I don't look, a lot to chew on in coming episodes for sure. But like,
yeah, definitely.
I do like there should always be a quality of the Doctor that is willing to just be like, if someone's dying, it's me. Like, I'm first.
Yeah, 100%. I do. It is definitely part of like the bravery of the Doctor, and the fact that like the Doctor, who is, and this is something which kind of plays into like Matt Smith's run, and one of the reasons why I really love his Doctor, but like the idea that like, you know, the Doctor has had all these amazing adventures and has fought so many big battles and has done all this kind of stuff, and they're you know literally woven throughout legend and myths and all this kind of stuff. But then of course they'll sacrifice themselves for what to most people would seem like a very insignificant thing in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Like, to help a very small number of people and to do this thing, the Doctor won't even give it a second thought. He'll just be like, yeah, this is what I'll do.
Yeah, it always comes down to, no matter how small, any life is above his. Like,
absolutely,
which I really like. And like, I mean, no, end of 10's run, we'll talk about that maybe a bit more.
Okay,
but because there's very specifics in that. I really liked Anita. Coldest line, I think.
Which one?
The where he's talking and he just turns, and it's that reveal of Anita's been dead a while.
Yeah. Did you pick up on it?
No, not at all. They got me again.
I did. I could. Oh, did they do a fourth one?
Oh my god, I think they must have done. Yeah, I guess. Stephenisms or the Moffisms. Hang on, we need to lock this down. What is it? Moffatisms, Moffisms.
I like Moffisms.
It's easier to say.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go with Moffisms.
All right, Moffisms. Yeah, lock it in, everyone.
Yeah, no, I kind of did notice it. I kind of picked up on the I've already seen it, but like I picked up on like the coldness of like her voice, like a few lines beforehand. It was a little bit telegraphed to me, but that's okay.
Yeah, fair.
I'm just more observant than you.
I've also seen it and I completely forgot. Yeah, and right, this is where we get the. You mentioned it earlier. We're in the biggest library in the universe. Look me up.
Yeah.
Kind of. I don't think you get this moment without the Doctor overhearing he has the power to turn armies at the mention of his name. Like,
oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's very much. I think 10 is known for pushing the limit and always taking things up until the very second that he can't push them any further. And I think there's a part of him that is so angry about the toll, the death toll in this episode, and the amount of people he met, shook hands with, that are now dead.
Yeah.
I think there's a part of him that's like, I think he tries his luck. I genuinely think it's a gambit.
The 10th Doctor definitely has an ego. Like, that's just fact.
Yeah.
That is just pure hard fact. But I don't think we've ever really seen that ego, like, shown this way so far.
It's never
like
been this directly threatening, I don't think.
Yeah, exactly. It's never been shown as a way to like scare the enemy kind of thing. It's never been portrayed like this. I like it though.
Closest I can think of it is like, I'm the Doctor, I'm a Time Lord, I'm from the planet Gallifrey and the constellation of blah blah blah. Like,
but that's not like
that's I'm inspiring you. That's look up to me.
Yeah,
that's
I'm gonna help you sort of thing.
Yeah. This one is very much fuck with me, find out, son. I will kill you, little flies. Yeah, and I tell you what, it's one of them. We get this. I think probably the most famous instance of this happens in season 5. But I like those moments where they go, oh, hang on. This is different. We better step back from this one. Quite literally, they recoil back into Anita's body.
I think it's definitely something that Moffat does quite a bit. The whole "I'm the Doctor, run and hide, you coward" or whatever, sort of thing.
Another Moffism, would you say?
It's definitely a Moffism. It definitely is, yeah, but it's a good one.
I like this. This opens up expanded lore for the Still Got Legs podcast.
We're getting into new lore in this episode. But no, it is definitely a Moffism, and it is one that I enjoy.
Yeah.
I can see why some people don't enjoy it, but
we do, and this is our podcast.
Yeah, so go away.
Yeah, so go away. River left, right, good night to the Doctor.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Like, the Doctor's just been like, "Yeah, don't worry, I'll die. Whatever, it is what it is." And she's like, "No, you dickhead. Like, we'll think of another way."
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, we don't have time to do that. I'll just kill myself. It's fine."
Yeah.
And then she's like,
I love that. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I died loads.
Yeah. I just kill myself. Don't worry about it. Yeah. But then she just clocks him. Just straight knocks him out. I love that. And probably not the first time River has knocked the Doctor out as well.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, she's probably done it quite a few times. So
I like this again. We spoke about this a bit last week, but it's just like when River's in the room, the Doctor isn't in charge of the room. And you get that when he does the high and mighty thing. I'll die, it's fine. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna die. And she's just like, shut up. Just knocks him out.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the best scene in the episode for me. The scene where Rivers then, the Doctor comes round and she's got him handcuffed, kinky, and then they have like the brief conversation and like the moment where like Rivers like, the Doctor's like, we can get out of this. Time can be rewritten, and she's like, "Fuck no, it can't.
Yeah, not
that time. Like, don't you dare take that time away from me." It's really good. It's really powerful stuff, and Alex Kingston does a really good performance in this scene. I think
I love this scene. You're right. I do think it is the best one in the episode, like you say. I think do you know what the thing I love about this the most? And it's maybe not even. It's not even like a line. It's just a factor that's in the scene. Is that this relationship, and as we find out, and it's so much better once you've seen how it expands as well. But like when it all boils down to it, this story. It's hard to dance around this without giving too much away, but this story, it's always been measured in the direction that they're heading, and it's not the same direction. And what I specifically love about this is that it comes down to a literal countdown. There is something measuring how much leeway they have left in this.
Yeah,
and it's just like, God, that's clever. Like it's so well done. And my line exactly reads, and there's a few instances that I've done this. He begs that time can be rewritten, but she'd rather die than risk anything changed between them. And why am I crying? Like like, I didn't realize that like this. I loved again Moffat's era towards the later stages of it is where I kind of like not fell out of love with Doctor Who, but just I kind of veered off. It was the wrong point of I wasn't as interested in it, and I was getting older. So like it was kind of a clash for me, but I didn't realize I was as connected to like the journey of River Song until I rewatched this today, and I just went, "Oh my God, this is heartbreaking stuff."
Yeah, it really is. There's what was I going to say? I think we can say what she is to him.
I think this episode gives it away, but I don't want to get much further than that.
Yeah. Not the...
No, not that.
Not that, but to him specifically.
Yeah, it's his wife.
Yeah, they're married. Yeah. They're married. And like...
And also this.
But the episode like kind of like confirms that in a way, but I love the way it like plays around with it, and I think it's a really great performance from David as well when he like tells her like, he told her his name. She told him his name. There's only one reason he would ever reveal that to anyone. There's only one reason she ever could. She's like, shut up, spoilers. Not like that, obviously. It's more
No, she goes jazz hands.
dramatic.
She goes, spoilers.
Spoilers, and then dies. No.
Refuses
It's
to
more beautiful.
elaborate, dies.
He refuses to elaborate. No, it's more appropriate than that, for lack of a better word. Yeah. But then there's like just the way he's just like taking in the sight of her body after that, just like still handcuffed up and just like staring at her, and it's like, and you gotta be imagining that he's just thinking like, this is someone who is clearly so important to him, someone who is a huge part of his life, someone he married, and he's just seen her die, but he still has all that to come. He still has to meet her. Yeah. He still has to fall in love with her. He still has to have all of these adventures. And in the back of his mind, the whole time, there's going to be the fact that he has seen her die. And how do you even begin to deal with that?
He needs to call Martha, who knows exactly how this feels with Tom Milligan.
Well, no, I think that's a little different.
It is. Because that shot has always stuck out to me. That one shot, and again, it's just Tennant's performance, like the sadness in it. What he can convey with his eyes alone is unmatched. And like that, whereas his hand is kind of like half cocked and it's like stuck on a railing, and he's just, there's nothing. He's literally saved the day, but there's nothing in him. He's gone at that moment. And the thing that eviscerated me when I thought about it today was that, and I don't know if this is necessarily how it's a bit of a negative read on it, but how Ten would perceive it is that yes, we know it's a fact, and he knows it from context of the episode that he will see River again. He will see River Song again.
Yeah.
And Ten is the one that watches her die, and that's all Ten gets. Ten doesn't see her again.
Well, maybe. We don't know that.
Well, no, not necessarily, but like what we've seen in the show, I think there's something to be said about how, like, I don't know, it feels to me like whenever there's trauma to go around, he gets the biggest piece. And then like Matt Smith and Peter Capaldi necessarily get to have, there's always the back of the mind thing, like you say, but they get to have the happier moments. But this is what he gets. And it's not fair.
Yeah. Okay, little sweet.
Yeah, thank you.
No, I think there might be some. I think 10. I personally, in my head canon, 10 does see her again.
Okay.
In my head canon, there's nothing in, when we see her again with Matt Smith, there's nothing that suggests the only time he's ever seen her is the library.
Okay. Does she not say? Is there not stuff in it where she's like, like she looks in his face and she's like, "This is the youngest I've ever seen you." Like, does that?
Well, this is what we spoke about last week. She looks at his face and she does say that, but to me that implies exactly what I'm saying. She recognizes this face. She knows this face.
I see. Maybe there's some stuff. Do you reckon?
There's not. We've seen all of 14's life. It's like 10 hours long.
Oh, okay, fair.
He's confirmed shortest Doctor. Actually, fair enough, because of how but yeah, we
can't. We've made a rule. We can't break the rule.
We can't.
We'll get there. And it largely won't be this conversation that we have when we get there.
I was talking strictly up to the point of regeneration, but then I remembered what happened. So, yeah.
Nathan, shush, we've got a rule.
Yeah, it's true.
Donna being pulled away from Lee in the fake world as it's crumbling around them.
Yeah.
My goodness. There's something that stood out to me in this, and it's like, I don't know, Matt. Lee seems like just a genuine guy. Like Donna is kind of confronted with the idea, like, she's watched the kids go. She understands that this is a world that is not long for it, right? But there's just this moment where she says, like, nothing's real to Lee, and he has no response other than, "Am I real?" And it's just like, oh, I mean, like, we find out he is, but not this kind of iteration, I suppose. Like, I don't know. Do you see what I mean?
No, I think it is. I think it is real.
But I don't know. Because
he remembers her.
I guess because he shouts for Donna, doesn't he?
Yeah. And to me, that's the most heartbreaking part of it. When he sees her, when he's back in the library, and he calls for her, but his stammer, because of his stammer, he can't actually do it. He can't physically do it. He's hampered by that. You ever have a dream where you like, and before you were married and with your partner, obviously, where you like have the most perfect partner ever, and you're like in a relationship, and you have the most perfect, amazing life, and you're deeply in love, and everything seems to going perfect, and then you wake up, and then you're like, fuck.
Are we getting Nathan Law? Is this Nathan?
Maybe, I don't know. But you never had a dream like that?
I don't think down to like a specific like person, but I think I've like had a dream where everything's going good. Like I can't remember like my sexy dream wife. but I get what you're saying, and like yeah.
It's kind of like that, just waking up from like having that life in the dream, and then just being like, fuck, now what? But waking up from that life and then seeing the person in the dream and being unable to do anything about it.
Oh, yeah.
Being hampered by your own disability and not able to properly communicate and get their attention.
This might affect my weirdo, because there is a point, and it plays a role. But we'll get to it in a minute.
I mean, I've debunked your weirdo many times.
It's true. Yeah, I'm not thinking of another one.
Show.
Right. We've had a busy couple of days. Yeah, there's I don't know. Yeah, just the fact that he watches her go, and I guess like that's it for him. We as far as we know, we've never seen him. I mean, is there a big finish? There's the meme about big finish will take any inch and give it a mile.
Yeah. I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't know. There definitely is with River, but
Elle on Sean.
Yeah. It's not Sean. It's Lee.
No, I know, but Elle on Sean. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Do you reckon the 14th Doctor's ever like, remember Lee?
Probably not, no.
That's a pretty insensitive thing to do, isn't it, to be fair? Yeah. And the 14th Doctor seems a bit more advanced than that. Yeah, the Doctor and Donna's chat about, like, being all right is code for absolutely not being all right. Like, that little scene, just... I love these two. I like just cements why I love Donna so much as a companion. The dynamic is like, up until this point at least, is so unique. And
yeah,
the Doctor, he really like. I know he doesn't, and Ten has these walls, but like, he lets his guard down the most around Donna. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah,
which is just lovely, because there's even with like the actual romantic love he had with Rose. There's still a bravado that has to come with that. He's still the protector in the relationship.
Yeah.
And I think he very much takes that seriously. Whereas in this, it's just two equals that have both been through the fucking ringer, and they just look at each other and go, "That sucked. That sucked. That big time was not good."
Yeah. And then the episode kind of wraps up. So he puts the River's notebook, River's diary, on the loose bookshelf with all the other loose books. And like, just there was the moment where they're tempted to look ahead, have a little peek, see what adventures are to come, but then they ultimately decide against it. And he like sets the screwdriver down and walks away. But then he has a think. And he's like, I'm cleverer than this. What's going on? What have I done? I've done something here. I've done a clever thing.
Yeah. And
I can figure out what this clever thing is. And he saved her with Doctor Who magic.
This 30 seconds is one of my favourite parts of Doctor Who ever. It's one of my favourites.
Really?
I think the shot is really creative and well done. Like the slow.
Well, where they're walking away and the camera is on the book.
Yeah, and I watched out for it this time as well, and you can see the camera operator be like, "Let's get a bit more in line with the book," because I think we could see a bit of David's hair in that. Let's go down a little bit, but then it's just there's something about it where I just like it takes what I love about Doctor Who, which there's always an element of like, I think Ncuti Gatwa said this in an interview recently, there's an element of hope that should always be present for that character. And it's been a devastating episode. It's been a real rough time. And these two are not okay. And the Doctor walks away, and it's part and part, it's bittersweet, I think, because there's a tragic nature to him knowing that he is better than that. And like when he runs back and he's like, why would I give him my screwdriver? Why would I do this? I can do fucking anything. Why did I not do this? Like what am I missing? And I just think there's a nature of like, paired with how this episode has gone and the ego boost he's gotten from hearing about versions of his future self, he just won't move past it. And that's a good thing in this instance, but it very much so becomes a bad thing in future instances when he can't leave well enough alone.
I think so too. And I really love just the shots of him running through the library again, just sprinting towards
through all the
hard
sets.
drive. Through all the sets and the reused rooms and everything like that, going down the CGI elevator shaft and everything like that. I enjoy it. And then the little smile he gives Cal.
I burst into tears. I won't lie to you. I genuinely did, man. I just something about this. This is the Doctor Who magic for me. Like this is that moment where he just like he won. He got something. And he just turns.
This is Doctor Who magic.
Yeah,
this is Doctor Who. Magic.
It is, and I think there's like
that
element to it of this is what Cal did.
Yeah,
Cal protected people. Cal saved people. And he just looks, and it's almost like it's so fucking stupid because it's a child's face on a fucking ornament, right?
Yeah.
But like, there's something about it. You show this clip to anyone out of context, they go, "What the fuck is this loser show?" But with the context of what it means and like how exhausted but grateful the 10th Doctor seems, it's amazing stuff.
See, okay, so I love all of that. I love everything that happens in the library with you know, the saved her, the smiley cat, the running through it, the saving River and all that kind of stuff. I love all that. It's when we then see what happens, which I'm like kind of have a bit of an issue with.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, and I can't necessarily blame this on the episode itself because it's more as a result of what's come after. It just like this, because this is a strange line to tell in the fact that this is the end of River Song's story in the first story that we meet her.
Yeah,
basically,
insane.
And yeah, exactly. But it is the end of River's story. And with everything we know about River, again, from what has come after her, so not necessarily the fault of this episode, it just doesn't seem right, really.
It seems more tragic.
It doesn't... It's not that. It's just like River Song would want to... Not want to, but River Song would, like, ended up in a dream world with people she didn't really know all that much, and like, and then she has children. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like River. It's a bit like the thing about Catherine Tate and the Runaway Bride. Like, it's just not quite the one you know. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit off and a little bit different sort of thing.
I do see that, but then I think this also, like, by nature of who this character is and the format of how this character is in the show, it is. I guess it could this be seen as character development just backwards?
What do you mean?
Like, because this is who she. You're right. It doesn't match up with the stuff that we've seen, kind of in season 5 and 6 and so on. But like, this is the most recent version of her that we've seen. So could she, from season 5 and 6 and blah, blah, blah onwards, could she conceivably grow into this person? Are you saying there's a disconnect there?
Well,
because for her, that's forward, right? She goes forward.
We've seen a River, which is, I don't want to say right up until, but pretty much up until she goes to the library.
Okay.
We've even seen River beyond the library, actually.
Oh, okay.
Technically.
I don't know about that. I've never seen that.
Yeah, that's kind of to come. I don't know. It's difficult. It just doesn't seem like it's in line with River, and it doesn't even seem like it's maybe something like River could perhaps enjoy. It's just it just doesn't seem like it's River's character at all to suddenly want to have a family or something like that. I don't know. It's never been something that's kind of sort of come up, really.
Is it just the best of a... Or maybe I guess they thought that these, like, archaeologist characters would play a bigger part in who she ended up being, and...
I don't know. I don't think there's any solution to it. I just think
Yeah.
it's a simple case of, like, the fact that the character wasn't fully fleshed out and changed over time and that sort of thing. I just think that's the simple answer to it. And what we have here just doesn't quite match up with what came later. That's all.
That's fair. And I think there's there's allowances made, I guess, because this is a pretty unprecedented thing for I'm pretty sure this is introduced, like you said, maybe it introduced the concept of like bringing spoilers into part of day-to-day vocabulary for people. Like, this is kind of the first instance we've seen of a character that has this dynamic with a lead in a show, I think.
What do you mean?
I can't think of any other time where a character's like met a character before they've met them, and they travel in opposite directions in the flow of time, and like
it's kind of based on the Time Traveler's Wife, the book, and later movie.
Well, that's fine. You don't agree with me. We can move on. No, I'm joking. I do see what you say. It's less of a problem for me because this is from like 6, maybe 7. I think 7 onwards. My memory of the show becomes a lot more hazy.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe look, in 2 years' time we'll rediscuss. Yeah.
I'm very excited to discuss some of the River episodes to come, because there's some really, really great stuff, and I really enjoy one in particular, which we will get to. But there's some genuinely beautiful moments between the two characters, and it's really exciting. So yeah,
we're gonna have to get ourselves a spoiler diary so that on this podcast we can make sure that we're keeping in track of what's been and what's happened.
Yeah, exactly.
But
sorry, go on.
I was like, last week I asked you if this is kind of like the first time we've seen Moffat get fairy tale with it, and we like maybe he's had bits of it here and there up until this point. But I think this is the first fairy tale classic Moff story that we've had, and I think it's like the ending of the episode is further proof of that. Of
the ending of the episode is very fairy tale.
Yeah. I think what did she say? She says, "Sweet dreams, everyone."
Yeah, and I tell you what, and then after the once he's like saved River, going back to the TARDIS and doing the click, love that moment.
Yeah,
love seeing him click to open the doors. He never does it again as the 10th Doctor. But
he does lock it like a car, though.
Yeah, that's very funny. But it's great. I love that moment where he just clicks the doors open, and then we see the shot of him closing them with Donna. It's really good. I love that.
I do as well, and it's
I think it's great lore to introduce the Doctor Who as well. I love the fact that they can just open the TARDIS with a click of their fingers.
Yeah, people often forget the TARDIS is organic. The TARDIS lives, and like there's a level of respect there that like just like if he clicked and be like, I'll open. Yeah. Why not? Yeah, I mean, like, you're only going to push the door anyway, and so I may as well. I do like that. I also think it's like, this is why I say it's bittersweet. There's him embracing that power it's almost point of no return of embracing a power within him. Yeah, like a pride and an ego that I think he has a very hard time letting go of.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, what?
I also love seeing it show up again. Like it's always exciting whenever, the first time we see Matt Smith click to open the doors. Like, he did the thing.
I can't recall when he does that for the first time.
I can tell you right now if you want.
Nah, save it. Bit of sizzle.
Okay.
I'm in with the people. I'm going through this rewatch.
I think Jodie Whittaker did it quite a bit as well. I remember her clicking to open the doors.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
well,
good fun.
There you are. Stuff to come. What a banger. Yeah. Just a banger 2-parter, and this one specifically, I think just the nature of it never stopping and just constantly moving and constantly every scene feels like it means quite a lot of things to a lot of characters, and it's just great writing. I tell you what, this has got me really pumped to revisit Stephen Moffat's era as an adult, and because by nature of us having to sit with these episodes for a week just because of how we formatted this podcast, like I've got a lot more out of Russell, and I'm really excited to get a lot more out of Stephen Moffat's run after seeing the stuff he brings.
Yeah, I'm very excited for you. Well, to watch that era again, but also for you to watch it and to see how it comes about and certain storylines and stuff, because there's some storylines and moments which are genuinely like some of my favorite stuff ever. So I'm excited to see and discuss those. But I'm also excited to listen to this lovely little theme song.
Whoa.
Weirdo of the Week! Weirdo.
If you want to see a special extended version of that theme song, head on over to our Twitter, where I made a fun little video. Lawrence, this is everyone's favourite segment of the show, where we get a chance to take a look back at some of the weird and wonderful and grubby little characters who come across our screens each and every week. Lawrence, who is your weirdo that you are celebrating this week?
Donna is my weirdo.
Okay, and why are you celebrating Donna
stop
and
saying
her
that.
ableism?
I knew why you said it, and I was like, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, but I was immediately proven wrong. You want to stitch me up. No, I think Donna, like, look, I understand the nature of the joke. Like, I get it, and I also get later on they even play on it as a gag of Donna's like, oh, I created, well, she thinks she did at least, I created the perfect man. I basically made him unable to speak. And like that's the joke of like, Donna wants a bit of arm candy, is like that's the implied gag. But I don't know, there's a few too many targeted shots at this man's lisp, and I also think like there's something, and I've heard people speak about this before as well. Like it can be really frustrating for people that do have this, like a stammer or a stutter or whatever you want to call it. Like when people jump in and finish their sentences for them rather than let them
100%.
acknowledge a full thought and have it.
You can see why that would be frustrating, because like it's frustrating for me, and I don't even have a stammer. When like,
anyone jumps in, yeah, I just did it to you.
Exactly, and now I'm furious.
Oh no! But it is like, and there's little things like I understand it's all played with a wink and a nod and a smile, and it as a character he doesn't seem aggrieved by it, but like just as a holding people to a higher standard, I kind of don't want to see this type of writing come about. Like, I don't think it's necessarily a particularly funny joke. Like,
it's one of those naughties things, isn't it?
It is.
Watching stuff from the noise, you just have to accept that you're going to come across some problematic, and it's it's not the worst offense that has been caused, but it's just we're beyond this sort of stuff by now.
Yeah.
So
I think it's writing is better when you like punch upwards. I got no problem with that.
100%. Yeah, always punch up. Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately, just weirdo Donna. Don't tell people that vowels are easy. Words are easy as well. Normal words can also be easy. Who's your weirdo, Nathan?
Lawrence, my weirdo is the people who run the library for one very simple fact, and that is the fact that they seem to be enforcing some kind of strict all-black dress code.
Yeah, that's... Oh, yeah!
Yeah, because when Mr. Lux is like looking around and all the people come back and stuff, everyone is just wearing all black for some reason. It's not mentioned. There's no reason for it. They're wearing like different outfits, but for some reason it's all black. And I'm like, I don't quite understand what this is, but
they look like a conglomerate of bartenders.
They do, yeah. Or they're about to set dress a theatre show or something. There'll be stage hands for the night at a local Amdram show.
Yeah, I never considered that. That is a bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like that in the dream world that the Doctors concocted to save the people that didn't make it through the episode. They're all wearing white as well. That's very like.
It's true, yeah. They are, in the
Backstreet Boys get up.
Yeah. Yeah, they are all wearing white. They also do that thing as well where they're like, we just got here together. and you'll hug him, but we'll also hug each other now as well.
Yeah, we've all been stood here a while, actually.
Yeah.
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 I'd never thought about that. That's quite funny.
Yeah. So there we go.
Indeed. But did we get any emails or tweets, Nathan?
Lawrence, would you know we bloody did?
Hell yeah.
What's this?
Okay. Every single week, Nathan will go onto Twitter and he will post that we are recording the episode that we are recording, and he's like, "Hey, let's have your say. Let's hear what you have, what opinions you have, and we're going to read them out. You can tweet them, or you can just reply on an email. Just send us a cold email in. What is it? stillgotlegspodcast@gmail.com.
That's the one, baby.
Yeah, indeed. So now we're going to read them out. We're going to hear what the people have to say.
And starting off, we have... this isn't in reference to the episode itself. It's just a nice little message we got this week from Kate at StarKateMall on Twitter. And they say, in regards to your discussion on how long the podcast should be, I think I'm in the majority when I say the longer the better.
Hey.
I adore the podcast and could listen to you guys for hours whilst I'm at work, and I have. That is unbelievably sweet, but also unfathomable to me. I can't imagine anyone would enjoy listening to me talk for hours, but apparently they do. So there you go.
Who wrote that in? What was the name?
Kate.
Kate. I want you to know, Kate, that I was chuffed when I read this tweet. So much so that when my wife came home from work, I read it to her. And this is, again, just me trying to justify, like, I do think people like this show. Like, we're not just shouting into the ether. And her response was, I am weirded out that people know you. And I went, that's fair enough, I guess.
Yeah. A few people then wrote in to wish me happy birthday. I'm not going to go through those because that seems overly self-indulgent.
No, if you won't, I will.
No. But I will say thank you. It's very much appreciated. Very kind.
Yes.
Of you all. Kai Armstrong at Still Got Legs Pod at Kai without a K says, this episode is the start of Doctor Who seemingly forgetting how the fourth Doctor dies, and I'd like to say it makes quite the impact, though there is a convenient cut to show how 11 survived, maybe as a parachute in that coat. I think Kai might be getting 2 episodes mixed up here.
I'll be honest, Kai. I don't understand. I don't follow you. We all know that Fourth Doctor died by being absorbed by a paper mache man.
No, not the paper mache man. That was the regeneration process. He died because he fell off some scaffolding.
I know. But also the mache man.
The mache man helps the regeneration, Lauren.
It was very out of left field. The Doctor fell off scaffolding and went, oh, yeah, I've survived worse than this. Got up, brushed himself down. And then the camera panned right and a paper mache man went, I'm going to get you.
Stop this now. No, the fourth Doctor died by falling, basically.
Yeah.
And when Kai here says
into a paper mache man.
Shut the fuck up about the paper mache man. And when Kai, I think Kai might be thinking maybe they didn't rewatch the episode, but they might possibly be getting the scene where like the Doctor jumps down the elevator, confused with the scene from the End of Time where he jumps out the spaceship.
Maybe, yeah,
possibly. That's possibly all I can think of, possibly.
Yeah, that does make the most sense.
Because that is a big fall when he's like...
Brush this one off.
I mean, it's hurt, but like he's all right.
And then he goes, look at this gun.
It doesn't kill him. So
no, it doesn't.
Like,
Kai, right back in. Tell us what you meant.
You also said 11, so I don't know if that was a typo.
Yeah.
Or not.
I'll be honest, Kai, every part of your messages confused me to my core.
We're confused, Kai. Let us know.
Please, Jen, like we want to understand.
Yes. And maybe it's us. We're not the smartest, as we've proven.
It's true.
This,
I once went out of my way to correct someone and then was still proven wrong.
Yeah, exactly. You actually and then got actually back.
It's what I deserve for actually. I will say.
Exactly. Our good friend Jared Coastal wrote in, and oh wait, no, this is a birthday message for me.
No, go on. You read it out for. You wanted to say it, didn't you? Go on.
No, I didn't realize until just.
It's another birthday message.
It's a fun little play on their usual review, but I
saw this. I did.
Yeah. Jade at Caesarean Trans, I think that is, says, genuinely think this is the best part of River Song's story. It pays off so well as a self-contained mystery that it heightens all other appearances from her. The sheer tragedy and then triumph just resounds through the show, perhaps even undermining it at times.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's kind of a different take to what you think about it, though, surely.
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, I think so.
So you're wrong, Nathan.
Well, that's fine.
Says. No, I do. I like as a that's where mostly I come from in this episode as well. As a mostly like a self-contained river story, this is just a fascinating concept to me.
Yeah. No, it is. It definitely is. I will read this birthday message out just because I think it's funny. It says, "Happy 50th birthday, Nathan."
There we go. Yeah. I agree that it's funny, but it's also not lost to me that you found a way to read another birthday message.
Shut the fuck up. Damn the Lamb at Damn the Lamb says, that end in River Scene made me emotional when I first watched it when it aired, and I was 8, and it makes me even more emotional now, having seen so much more of her in later seasons. Good shit. We are in banger episode territory all the way to the finale, and that is true.
I think it is true. Yeah.
I think that is true. Did you see the next time trailer?
Oh, yeah, I did, yeah.
Next week's going to be fun.
I am buzzing for next week.
This is from at Soupy Soup Brain, and I think we're getting to the point where I just can't even read out the name anymore because...
Go on, give it a go.
This is ridiculous now. It's... Mipala Dankabinor Marinjacarabarius acorn holder. That is ridiculous. It's at this point, it's just getting to the point where it's just keyboard smash.
I've gone. I haven't read the tweet. I've just clicked on the profile.
Yeah,
that is quite ridiculous. What do your other followers think about this?
Yeah. That's a good point. Some classic Tennant action in this one. Running while flailing his limbs about, seething through his teeth, the wild eyes, hair seeming to puff out like a scared cat, and of course the wistful stare. All the late 10 bangers we know and love are on full display. And they've included some very good screenshots which display all that. And can't argue. They look great. They do look great. 10 looks... it's beautiful. He's a beautiful boy.
He is a very beautiful boy. I will say the blue suit has grown on me.
It's a beautiful blue suit, isn't it?
It's looking good, I will say. Yeah.
It's looking better than that gross ugly brown one. Miss Evan... Oh, sorry. This is from... one of your friends, probably, Lawrence. Kendall Roy's sad pointy ears.
I've seen this account, I think.
At Tortoise Bill. Miss Evangelista's face in this episode scarred me so much as a kid that I ripped up and burned the photo of it in my copy of the Doctor Who magazine. So there we go. I guess it was scary to some people. So there we go.
That is drama levels and akin to a Kendall Roy-esque figure as well, I will say. So very good.
Yes, and we all know who Kendall Roy is.
You will do. You will do, Nathan.
Maybe. Our good friend Greg Cactusface at G Cactusface says, and this is over the course of 2 tweets, sorry, I'm drunk, so I can't be asked going back to the old post. Many people in this world would enjoy a mud bath as a health spa service. The Matrix world Donna and gang are trapped in can also be seen as a mental health service for their brain. In both cases, too much of this getaway healing practice can be a bad thing. If the library people stay in the library matrix for too long, they would never be able to continue living their life. The horse from the never-ending story basically was stuck in a mud bath for too long.
This fucking horse.
So I think we've moved away from
it does seem
from
a departure
baseball, and now it's all never ending story. Greg he's moved on. He's not got himself 2 curses. He's just changed the curse. Which
that's his right.
Hey,
that's his right.
And that is his right. Yeah, that is good for you, Greg. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Greg. Garen at Garenzilla on Twitter says, incredible that this 2-parter is, in my opinion, the weakest of Moffat's work in RTD1. I'm curious how you both would rank them. My ranking would go Blink, Fireplace Girl, Are You My Mummy / The Doctor Fucks, and then this 2-part banger. That's obviously in descending order. there.
Yeah.
So yeah, what was your ranking of the moth stories we've got to go so far?
It would probably be this first.
Okay.
Then it would be the Doctor Fucks.
Yeah.
Then Blink. Then Fireplace.
Okay. So I'm gonna go. I'm also gonna go this first. I'm gonna go the Doctor. I am my mummy / the Doctor Fucks.
Yep.
Same as you so far, but then I'm gonna go Fireplace Girl, and then I'm gonna go Blink.
2 respectable rankings.
Personally. So there we go.
Catch us on Letterboxd.
You won't catch me on Letterboxd. I'm not on there. Thank you, Garen. And that's all the tweets. Now let me pull up the email accounts.
Pull up the.
I will say, this confused me very much earlier over the weekend, but we got an email from like a Norton thing, which was like, thank you for your invoice. Like, thank you for paying $800 for your Norton 360 standard thing. Here's your invoice to @SilverLegs. And I was like, oh, this is a scam thing. Surely this is like a phishing thing. But then I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, this is actually seems genuine. So I think someone's just signed up to Norton but just used our email for some reason.
What the fuck?
So I don't know why or what's going on there. But yeah, that seems to be a weird thing that's happened.
Well, there we are then.
So
enjoy.
I mean,
Norton.
you're welcome to do that, I guess. Like, I'm not paying for it, so. But
I might sign us up to a
there we
load
go.
of like Christian dating websites just for fun,
Why would you do that?
just for a laugh. eHarmony for Nathan.
Okay, great. Taylor James has emailed in, presumably on his run from the BBC. This email is titled "Fuck Miss Evangelista" or however it's spelled.
I'm always here for the aggression of this man's emails.
Same. Evening, gents. Nathan does listen / read books like a psychopath. But aside from that, I am absolutely here for the elongated muskrat and Miss Evangelista slander. On a lighter note, I'm a big fan of this two-parter and was some of the bangers I was referring to previous. The villain concept and also River Song idea are both brilliant. Shadows are scary, and meeting someone through time while you're going towards and they're going backwards is a great time traveler idea. I also had one of those fake TV license letters rock up the other day. Coincidence? ? Please keep up with the longer episodes. Helps me get through the bleak Mondays having you in my ears. I think we're now, 3 for 3 in terms of people saying they like longer episodes?
I think we are. I mean, we haven't heard a single bad thing about him apart from us when we finish recording and we go, fucking hell, we're tired.
Yeah. We're literally the only ones who think people want shorter episodes. Well, the only ones we've heard from.
I think we've lost the ability to do shorter ones. I don't think we could have done this shorter.
No. I still, sometimes I look at our feed and see that first episode and it's like 29 minutes or whatever. And I'm like, how
did we do
how
it?
is that even possible? I don't understand.
We were so strict on ourselves as well. We said like max 45 tops.
Yeah.
That's all the time that people will dedicate to a Doctor Who podcast. Boy, were we wrong.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Taylor. I hope being on the run from the BBC is going well for you.
I just still love the brazen approach to this. It's just like, coincidence? Fuck you.
This one is from Tom Monty. This is the last email, but it's a bit of a longer one. But it's the last email, so we'll go through it.
Sure.
Dear Nathan and his companion Lawrence, I thoroughly enjoyed last week's episode, particularly the part at the end where you read my email. It was strange to hear the voices I've listened to for weeks finally engage with something I'd written, particularly because you're only my Doctor Who podcast out there. I feel like I'm famous now. I wish we could say you were famous, Tom, but in terms of the number of people who listen to this, it's really not as big as you think. So,
Look, we're all big fish in a small pond.
Yes, we are. Yeah, you're famous amongst the Still Got Legs community.
Yes.
So there you go. You said I should suggest my favorite episodes to you for to make that 6-hour episode on. However, you've already covered my favorite story of all time, Human Nature / The Family of Blood. A good
Damn,
pick.
we could have done 6 hours on that.
We probably could have. With both episodes put together, probably wouldn't be far off.
That's true, actually, yeah.
So I will have to default to my second favorite, The Waters of Mars. Ooh. I feel like you'd have a lot to sink your teeth into on that one. You are right, Tom.
That will almost certainly
definitely
be a longer one, yeah.
Gonna be a lot to discuss. I have some thoughts on it, which I won't say now, but a lot to discuss.
Okay, a bit sizzle for me.
Yeah. Since I've only just caught up 4 series in, I have a few retrospective comments on some of the previous episodes you've covered.
Tough. You missed them.
No, I read them all out, Lawrence. I'm not colorblind like Lawrence. Are you colorblind? Did we say
I'm partially colorblind? Yeah.
Oh,
I struggle with purples and navies and darker colors.
Have we said? I guess we've said that. Then.
Yeah.
But I can see where he's come. Okay, this makes sense. But I can see where he's coming from when he said that Ratigan's minions' jumpsuits are orange. I'd call it more a very dark orange / light red. So there you go.
Vindication.
I'd still call it red myself. If that's what I said, I can't actually remember.
Whatever Nathan said was the correct thing.
Whichever one I said is the right one.
Yeah.
However, I agree with you, Nathan, that your companion was insane to suggest that the Ood's transformation wasn't effective. I think it's one of the best Doctor Who transformation scenes. It made 8-year-old me, at the time of broadcast, feel upset in his belly. See, Lawrence, we just get further proof as we go on that you are fucking insane for thinking that.
I can't believe I once thought this was a very, very cold take. I just thought this was common opinion.
No, not at all. Also, you both seem adamant that Love and Monsters is the worst episode of all time. How can you say this when more recent episodes like Legend of the Sea Devils or Orphan 55 exist? I was baffled when I heard this, especially as someone who unironically considers it one of the best episodes of Series 2. Look, all power to you, Tom. Right? I will defend your right to love and Monsters all day long, okay? I can't do it myself. It's
also general rule, right? We typically are only talking about where we're up to. Like,
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So and also, they're too recent for me to. I've watched those episodes once.
I think we might have said it is actually the worst episode of all of Doctor Who, though. During
oh yeah, maybe we did. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if that is strictly true. It might have been a little bit colourful.
I'm confident
coming from us. I'm fairly confident.
I think it has. It's one of them episodes where there are nuggets of things that I like. I like a bit of Jackie. I like a bit of Rose and Jackie in that. I like some degree of the team, Linda, the team.
Yeah.
And then there's just the big old slab in the room, isn't there? The big elephant that no one wants to talk about, which just is ghastly. I can't talk about it.
I will say that Orphan 55 is pretty rough.
Is that I'm from the In-Betweeners?
Yeah, that's that one.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, yeah.
That one is pretty rough. But we'll get to it. And Nathan, you shit on Ten's brown suit and coat way too much. It's so iconic and brown, and the long brown really complements the brown. It's a lot of brown.
I can't tell if that's actually disguised as I can't tell if they're getting at me there. And that's
I don't think so.
The brown complements the brown. That feels like a dig. Feels like a dig of one of my genuine sentiments.
I think you've been way too sensitive.
I get sensitive when it comes to the brown suit, all right?
You do. I will say, I don't actually, not like the brown suit. I think it's fine. I just don't like it as much as the blue suit. I think the blue suit looks better, okay? I'm mostly being colourful for comedic effect when I shit on the brown suit and say it looks horrible, okay? I do think it looks a little bit ugly, but, it's... You just can't be that beautiful blue suit, man.
Do you know what I'm before we get off, I mean, I know this is a suit talk that we're going to have in years to come, but I'm so excited. This is not actually anything that's happened, so I can freely discuss it as per our rules. I am so excited to see another brown coat enter the show, paired with an incredibly lovely orange jumper underneath it. The first shooty look they debuted is fucking incredible.
I think that might be a one-time look.
I will cry if it is, because that is.
I think it is, because like from his like sort of standard look is the one with like the sort of like leather coat, which he has on in like the promo posters and stuff.
I like that look too.
It's a good look,
but that like tweed brown kind of like, I don't know, like waist length coat with that orange jumper just is impeccable stuff. Anyway, we're getting ahead of the game, but yeah, good stuff.
We are, yeah. Thoughts on Forest of the Dead? Great episode. Moffat is way better when he writes contained stories rather than show running, in my opinion. And Murray Gold's music is a highlight for me. The bit at the end where the Doctor goes flying down the blue tube thing to save River, with the Doctor's theme from Series 4 swelling, makes me feel things all over my body. Hard to agree with that bit.
Yeah.
Also, I like
David Tennant is definitely not standing on something stationary.
Yeah, definitely not, no. Also, I like the bit where Elon Musk / Timothy from the Family of Blood's wife veil is lifted to reveal her monstrosity of a face, similar to last week's egg-faced Donna on a stick. That gave 8-year-old me, at the time of broadcast, nightmares for weeks. And in retrospect, I think the visuals here actually hold up pretty well. Sorry about our earlier comments. Especially in light of 2023's Wild Blue Yonder, which used a similar effect that looked pretty wank. IMO. I'm going to disagree with you there, Tom.
I think Wild Blue Yonder did it better.
I do too. Yeah, I think it looks great.
That was a very formal email to include the word wank in it.
Well, they did say I've been shitting on brown suit.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Anyway, apologies for such a beefy email, but I feel like it will add to the runtime, which can only be a positive. Seriously, I can see no negatives in making these episodes longer, despite maybe eating into your own personal time. It just means the podcast lasts longer throughout the week. I can't see why anyone in their right mind would be put off by this, especially considering you're the only Doctor Who podcast out there. It's actually a very good point.
We hadn't considered that, yeah.
We are the only Doctor Who podcast in the world, so it makes sense that
they tried launching an official one, but we shut them down.
Yeah, and then Russell called us and like, please do be the official Doctor Who podcast,
and we said no.
We said no, we're our own thing. All right, we're never going to sell out to the man. Anyway, make sure you stay around for the ads at the end of the episode.
Yes, please do. I'm in awe at the phrase beefy email.
Yeah,
that got me. Yeah, very good.
Love from Tom Monty. P.S. Nathan, I hope you had a wonderful birthday full of cake and joy and alcohol and surprises, and also Merry Christmas to you both, and I hope you have a wonderful day full of cake and joy and alcohol and surprises. Thank you very much, Tom. It's very sweet, and I hope you and I hope everyone else has a very Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or whatever you celebrate. And I hope it's a beautiful time.
I do too. I won't be having any cake. I'm on a health kick currently.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Lawrence. Make your fucking health kick, man. God.
Nathan, those were lovely emails.
Thank you very much.
I will say. And also, the other thing that I will say is just a general thank you to everyone that is listening. This episode does come out on Christmas Day. So I may be too late in catching you and saying this, but genuinely hope you have had a fantastic Christmas. And I also just wanted to take a minute to acknowledge that it's almost now been a year since we started this podcast.
Almost has, yeah. It's coming up. We started it in January.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't think we have a. This is
We haven't missed a week.
No,
we haven't missed this. We haven't missed a single week. This is our 51st episode. There, and next week is 52, and there's 52 weeks in a year.
So. Hell yeah.
No, but wait, we launched 3 at once though, didn't we?
We did. Yeah, we launched 2. We were going to launch 3, and then we couldn't record an extra one.
Yes, we launched 2 at once. Yeah, okay. Fair.
But yeah, no, genuinely, I think this is the last chance we'll get to say it this year. I think.
Next one comes out on New Year's Day.
Okay, well, they may not get to it, but I've started now. I'm not going to stop.
Well, this is officially the last one of 2023.
Yeah,
so.
But no, just a genuine, like, we joke a lot, and it's a silly show, and we try and keep stuff lighthearted, but like a genuine and sincere thank you to everyone that has listened, because this has been like, this was a project that we genuinely just started because we really love to do this.
We genuinely was talking about it for well over a year before we started it, because I mean, we've been talking about Doctor Who for like fucking 8 years now.
Yeah, exactly. So we're like, we may as well try and make some money from it.
We didn't say that, Lawrence. We've never once intended to sell out. It was always just for the love of talking about Doctor Who.
That's true. And listen for those ads at the end.
Listen for those ads.
But no, genuinely, like it's been a really fun time. I've loved going through it this year. Like I've loved just like taking my time rewatching episodes of these shows that I love. And I also love that we've like, and I think people experience this as well. I feel like we're growing a tiny little community. There's
I love the Still Got Legs community. It I don't know what it is, but there's something about it just feels very special. Every week when I post my little the notification on Twitter to say that it's out, and then the tweet to say that I got any thoughts, there's always like the same group of people showing up to like the tweet and to give in some comments and their thoughts and stuff. And it's really nice to see that people are enjoying this and they're getting involved and stuff. And I genuinely does make my week every time we get that interaction and feedback from you guys. So genuinely, thank you for sticking with us through this year, trying it out, and hopefully you'll still be around next year.
Yeah, fingers crossed, and congrats on being the best of this fandom as well. Like this fandom famously sucks to a large degree, or at least there's a very loud minority that
there's pockets of it which can be difficult to listen to.
Yeah, so we hope that I feel like we've largely fostered good, inclusive people that want to see this show do well and be good.
yeah. Everyone seems to be very nice, and we haven't had like any incidents or anything like that. So yeah, everyone's been great, and they're all lovely people.
Indeed. So yeah, genuinely, thank you very much. It's been such a pleasure, and we will carry on. Anyway, enough cringe stuff.
Yeah, L cringe.
L cringe ratio. Riz, other words. Thank you very, very much for listening. You can leave us a little review, Nathan. I think we've got a review that we could read out.
We do. I actually have one here. This is who's this from? Sorry, this is from Sazzles. And the title of the review is John Leguizamo. And the review says, if I'm honest, I didn't know who John Leguizamo was before this podcast, and I'm not 100% sure if I know who he is yet, since they somewhat stray from the topic, John Leguizamo. But I'm enjoying the ride. The joke there is that this was a review from Mission Zach's Leguizamo-rama. It's my favourite joke. I love it.
Are you ever going to run out of podcasts?
I've genuinely been in danger of doing that this week. I was looking through my podcast feed. I'm like, because a lot of my podcasts are like spin-offs of like the main podcast.
Yeah.
Like, How to Go On has like Primates and Bookchi and that sort of stuff. I'm like, I don't know if these are big enough to like do that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we can. He's in good faith. It's all a jest.
Anyway, another review, just one I picked out at random here, and I have a screenshot of it now. This one is from Jeff Lemon, who says, still got it. A wonderful podcast about a 60-year-old show that goes off on various bizarre tangents at the drop of a fez. A must listen for me every week, especially as this review is read out every week. Never stop, and we never will. So
fantastic.
There we go. Is it fucking 1 a.m? How did that happen?
Oh shit, me man. Yeah, fuck.
Did that happen?
We've been burning the midnight oil.
We really have. Oh my god.
Anyway, give us a little follow. You can find us on Twitter at...
I thought you were going to say give us money then. I don't know why.
Give us your coins.
When you said that, I genuinely thought you were going to say give us money.
See, you're there saying we don't do this for money, but that's what's going on in your subconscious. You wanted me to say it. Give us a little follow on Twitter. You can find us there at Still Got Legs Pod for any updates, as well as your thoughts on what we're discussing every week. Nathan, as I mentioned, will always put a little tweet out so you can have your say, or you can send us just a cold email over at stillgotlegspodcast@gmail.com, which is great. Also on Twitter is where you'll see that we post a little graphic to let you know that there's a new episode coming out. Little. That's for Nathan.
No, I was very clearly signaling that I wanted to say something, and you just.
I'm reading.
Straight.
I'm not looking at you.
I know, but what? You looked at me. You looked at me in the sense that you're looking at me now. You very clearly saw me.
Right, go on. What is it? What do you want to say?
Yes, I do put out a thing on Twitter to get everyone's thoughts in for the next episode. The next week is a big one, and you don't have to wait for me to put out that tweet. You can get in touch anytime. Just tweet at us at StillGotLegsPod or email us at StillGotLegsPodcast@gmail.com. Big episode next week. Lots to discuss, so get in your thoughts.
Take a leaf out of Key's book, who has sent us a message that is either about a season to come or a season that came over like 30 years ago.
Let us know, Kai.
We're not sure.
I'm very interested to find out.
I am too. It's where we post on Twitter is where we post a little graphic that will just basically tell you that there's a new episode, and that happens every.
We already did Twitter. What are you doing?
No, I'm talking about Nathan.
Twitter.
Let me get there. We're talking about this is where they can. You fuck me up.
We've plugged to Twitter. Move on.
No, because I didn't say Monday at 10 a.m. There you go. Monday at 10 a.m.
You don't need to. They know this. You don't need to.
Oh, and if I left anything else out. Anyway, Nathan, we have another podcast, don't we?
We do. It's called Another Happy Pod. It comes out every Friday, where we get together and discuss something in the realm of pop culture. It could be a movie, TV show, or literally everything that happened in 2023, which we may or may not have recorded whilst drunk. And you can listen to that New Year's sometime soon. Sometime coming up. I don't know.
You're hearing this on the Monday, then it will be the following Friday that you hear this.
Yes, there you go. Get excited for that. That was recorded last night on my birthday.
And if you're a fan of long podcasts, which it seems 4 for 4 are, then strap in. And if you've ever wondered what we think of the movie industry as a whole is, whilst drunk, you're in for a treat.
It's fucking 4 hours long.
It's too long.
Like, it's too long. It was 4 hours long, and by the end of it, it's just us shouting about the state of like movie studios and all this kind of stuff.
I genuinely would argue that from 2 hours in, like after the 2 hour mark, the remaining 2 hours are just beyond unhinged. Like,
it was a good conversation. I enjoyed it.
It was a good conversation, and I also think we actually broke ground on stances we haven't been able to talk about for like a year.
But yeah, if you are fans of longer episodes, and particularly us arguing as well.
Yes,
then
it's a big one for that.
There's a lot of arguments all throughout the episode.
I remember whilst recording it, I remember looking at the recording waveform and seeing it past 2 hours and going, probably wrap this up in half hour or so, and then we went and doubled that. So yeah.
Oh, to be fair, there was a few bathroom breaks along the way and stuff. So.
Yeah, but I'll cut them and it will equate to less than 10 minutes. Yeah, anyway, that's everything. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for an incredible year, and we will see you next week.
Goodbye. Bye. I love you.